Chapter 22-24. It's the Rock Emperor. That's the Rock Emperor. The crowd was in an uproar. Their gazes were trembling, and some had already knelt down to pay their respects. Looking down, Du Xiaofu's eyes flashed with a golden light. With a thought, the majestic palace in front of him trembled slightly. Boom! In an instant, a dazzling golden light soared into the sky from the depths of the majestic imperial palace. The golden light was like a rising golden sun that soared into the sky and transformed into a golden dragon shadow that roared out. The golden dragon was mighty. Clouds grew under its feet, and it was incomparably huge. Half of it shuttled through the sea of clouds, while the other half occupied the sky above the stone city. Endless golden light bloomed, and a majestic aura descended. Du Xiaofu's figure appeared on top of the golden dragon. He stepped on it, and his body was shrouded in dragon aura. Golden light shone, and the vision was like a miracle. Roar! The dragon roared, revealing a mysterious and ancient aura. The aura spread throughout the entire barren country, and it was still spreading in all directions. Such an aura was too terrifying. It resonated with heaven and earth, forming a powerful and majestic force that spread across the sky. At this moment, the barren country trembled, and the dragon aura from the palace filled the sky. The golden dragon was in the sky, occupying the entire barren country. That tall and straight figure was vast and mighty in the sky. We pay our respects to the Rock Emperor. The Emperor is unparalleled, and he shall suppress all enemies. The Emperor is unparalleled, and he shall suppress all enemies. Starting from the stone city, hundreds of millions of barren country's citizens knelt down. Their voices were like thunder that reached the sky. At this moment, the entire barren country was in an uproar. That was the soul of the barren country, the emperor of the barren country. Stepping on the golden dragon, his might shook the sky, and the heavenly aura spread in all directions. How shocking was that? Its third brother. Xiaofu is back. In the palace, Du Xiaoman, Du Yunlong, Du Zhenwu, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, the Green Fox Demon, Lian Qingrong, and many others walked out. They looked up at the shocking movement in the sky. Du Tingxian, Du Xiaojing, and Han Aodong were also in front of the crowd. It's been hard all these years. Han Aodong looked up and said to Du Tingxian next to her. It's not hard. Du Tingxian took Han Aodong's hand. Looking at the tightly clasped hands beside him, Du Xiaojing had a satisfied smile on his moving face. On the golden dragon of void, Du Xiaofu's eyes shone brightly. He could feel the imperial palace's dragon qi increasing imperceptibly and gathering around him. That's Azus. Zhenzisnen, dragons Luznen Chuan, Thesisnen, Hses dragon saint. Now that he had stepped into the saint plane, Du Xiaofu could feel that when his physical body was sanctified, there was the help of the imperial palace's dragon qi in his body. At this moment, Du Xiaofu could still feel that the dragon qi in the palace was beneficial to him. In the house of the courtyard's courtyard. This sizzle, the aroma of meat filled the air. On a large grill and several grills, there were several pieces of demonic beast meat. Du Xiaofu was very familiar with the process. He calmly grilled the meat, and the oil sizzled. Du Xiaofu had collected this demonic beast meat when he was in the Tomb of Eternity. They were all demonic beast meat above the beast realm. As a grilled meat lover, Du Xiaofu was always ready. There were many people in the courtyard, which was not big to begin with. Zhen Qingchun, Du Xiaoqing, Little Tiger, Du Xiaoyao, Little Xingxing, Elder Yi, the 18 heavenly generals, Du Xiaoman, Du Yunlong, Lian Qingrong, and the other protector emissaries. The Green Fox Demon, the palace protector emissary, was also among them. Of course, the main characters were Han Aodong and Du Xiaojing. Gulp, gulp. Zhen Qingchun, Du Xiaoyao, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoqing, Qingguyu, and the others all had hot throats. They swallowed their saliva. The aroma of the meat was irresistible to them. Lian Qingrong, Yelu Han, Du Gefenshen, and the others were the same. Their eyes were fixed on the grilled meat. At this moment, the Green Fox Demon's heart was trembling. The lineup in this small courtyard was too powerful. It was enough to sweep the world. It's done. After a while, Du Xiaofu smiled. He was done. A large piece of grilled meat wrapped in fragrant leaves was brought to Han Aodong and Du Xiaojing. He smiled and said, "Mother," shouting, "Try it. It should taste good." Han Aodong smiled as she received the barbecued meat from Du Xiaofu's hands from Du Xiaojing. She began to eat in large bites. Her disregard for her image caused Du Tingxian to involuntarily be secretly stunned. "It's delicious. Father's cooking is still the best." Zhen Qingchun, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, Little Tiger, and Du Xiaoqing all rushed forward and ate heartily. Yelu Han, Lian Qingrong, Du Gefenshen, and Yi Piaoling didn't hold back either. There is also wine. It has been buried under the snow for more than 5,000 years. There are only 5 jars in the world, and I brought 2. Lian Qingrong took out 2 large jars of wine from her Qiankuan bag. Before she opened the jars, the wine had already spilled out and drifted in the stone city. Those whose cultivation was not high enough would be drunk just by smelling the wine. Good stuff, this is definitely good stuff. It's hard to get even with money. Du Tingxian smiled. When it came to wine, he was a connoisseur. Looking at the 2 jars of wine, his eyes were already shining. Palace Guardian Sacred Envoy, don't be shy. From now on, the Hotian Beast Hall will rely on you. Du Xiaofu came to the side of the Green Fox Demon and personally handed over the wine and meat. Rock Emperor, you're too polite. The old monster of the Green Fox tribe nodded respectfully from the bottom of his heart. How could he not know that the Devil King in front of him could easily kill him on his own at this moment and make him submit to him? Du Xiaofu patted the Green Fox Demon on the shoulder and said with a smile, "From now on, the Palace Guardian Sacred Envoy will be a member of the Barren Country. If you need anything, just tell me. The Barren Country will try its best to satisfy you with the power of the whole country." "Thank you, Rock Emperor. From now on I will do my best." The Green Fox Demon bent down and saluted respectfully. The Green Fox Demon knew that the reason why he could appear in this small courtyard at this moment was that the Demon King in front of him really regarded him as a member of the Barren Country. This was what he had chosen to do in the face of legalism. "Palace Guardian Sacred Envoy, you don't have to be so polite. On the path of cultivation, you are a senior." Du Xiaofu had seen the Green Fox Demon's choice. The Green Fox Demon was a smart person. He would make his own choice. Only by sincerely submitting to Du Xiaofu could he become a great help to the Barren Country. "I don't dare. On the path of cultivation, the one who reaches the top comes first. Rock Emperor, you make me feel ashamed." The Green Fox Demon smiled bitterly. He was absolutely sincere. He knew how abnormal the little Demon King in front of him was. Although he had just stepped into the Saint Realm, he could defeat all the cultivators in the same realm. Even Qin Yanlong was no match for him, let alone the Green Fox Demon. If it were in the past, the Green Fox Demon could still pretend to be old. However, at this moment, the Green Fox Demon was also in the Saint Realm. He had no right to pretend to be old. On the path of cultivation, the one who reaches the top comes first. This had never changed since ancient times. In the courtyard, the fragrance of wine and meat filled the air. All the supreme talents in this small courtyard did not care about their image at all. They acted like bandits and did not show any courtesy to anyone. The taste of the wine and barbecue was not only irresistible, but also greatly beneficial to the people present who had reached the domain realm. It was late at night. The bright moon was high in the sky, and the moonlight was like silk. In the courtyard, everyone who had eaten their fill left one after another. There was energy surging in their bodies that needed to be refined immediately. "Grandma, Aunt Xiaojing, I'm leaving first." "Godmother, Sister Xiaojing, I'm leaving too." Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoqing, and the others left. They drank until their cheeks were red. They ate until their bellies were full and they burped. "I'm very happy." Only the family of 4 were left in the courtyard. Du Tingxian tossed the wine pot in his hand to Du Xiaofu, who was beside him. His handsome face was flushed. No one knew whether it was because the wine was too strong or because he had drunk too much tonight. Chapter 22-25. I'm also very happy. Du Xiaofu took the wine jug and took a big gulp. Then he passed the jug back to Du Tingxian. Although he was still thinking about the demon god, he was indeed very happy. He also knew what his alcoholic father was happy about. Since he was young, his alcoholic father had always been drinking alone in this courtyard. Every year, on the 15th day of the 8th month, he would find him to drink a few mouthfuls. And now, the family was finally reunited. I'm very proud to have a son like you. As expected of my son, Du Tingxian. Du Tingxian took the wine jug and took another big gulp. I'm also very proud to have a father like you, Du Xiaofu said. He was already used to the way the father and son interacted. Drink a few mouthfuls with me. I'm really happy today. Actually, your alcohol tolerance might not be as good as mine. Impossible. I was the one who taught you how to drink. There's a saying that goes, the student surpasses the master. In the courtyard, the moonlight poured down. The father and son drank one mouthful after another. Looking at the father and son, Han Aodong and Du Xiaojing smiled at each other and quietly accompanied them. When your grandmaster and senior Bei Qi came to find you, they should have mentioned the origin of the thunder vein to you, right? Suddenly, Du Tingxian looked at Du Xiaofu. His bright red face became serious. You already knew the identity of senior Bei Qi and that old man Fu Yibai? Du Xiaofu asked. I found out at the same time as you. Du Tingxian shook his head and said to Du Xiaofu, but I already knew that your grandmaster purposely stayed in the Du family to find the thunder vein. And I was the person your grandmaster chose. He hoped that I could completely awaken the thunder vein. His voice paused for a moment. Du Tingxian looked at Du Xiaofu and smiled embarrassedly. Actually, there's something I've been sorry about. We're father and son. There's no need to say so much. Du Xiaofu smiled at Du Tingxian and asked, but I'm still curious. What do you have that you can't let me down? Do you still remember when you were 5 or 6 years old? That storm? Du Tingxian paused as he watched Du Xiaofu's reaction. I remember. I was struck by lightning once. How could Du Xiaofu not remember? During that sudden storm, he was trying to comprehend the mysterious technique on the stone tablet when a drought lightning suddenly struck the stone tablet. In the end, the stone tablet was fine, but he suffered an unexpected calamity. He was struck by lightning and fell into a coma for 3 days and 3 nights before waking up. However, it was also because of that lightning strike that the 3 of them were able to enter that wonderful state of comprehension. The mysterious talisman engravings on the stone tablet that were related to the mysterious move also appeared in their minds along with the lightning strike, allowing them to comprehend it. Actually, that day I was awakening the thunder martial vein. I was careless and struck you. Fortunately, you're fine. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll feel uneasy for the rest of my life. Du Tingxian smiled at Du Xiaofu and continued, later, when you were in a daze in front of the stone tablet, even I almost thought that you were struck by lightning. I felt uneasy for a period of time. You, hearing this, Du Xiaofu was stunned. He stared at Du Tingxian tightly. It was as if a herd of wild beasts were roaring in his heart and could not be calmed down for a long time. Phew! After a while, Du Xiaofu took a deep breath. He looked at Du Tingxian and said snappily, forget it. Who asked you to be my father? Of course, I'm your father. Du Tingxian laughed. So, the stone coffin in the ancestral shrine was also your doing? Du Xiaofu looked at Du Tingxian and suddenly remembered that he would climb out of the stone coffin in the ancestral shrine every once in a while. No one would believe him when he told them, and they even thought that he was a fool. Yes, that stone coffin is a treasure that can cleanse the marrow and bones. It was discovered by your grandmaster. I've been cleansing my marrow and bones since I was young. Du Tingxian looked at Du Xiaofu and said, at that time, an ancestor of legalism said that you were born with an incomplete martial vein, but I know that's not the case. You were seriously injured by those people of legalism and your vitality was endless. You shook the heaven and earth and caused division. Divine lightning fell from the sky and the heavenly might descended. You were protected by the heaven and earth, so how could you be mediocre? I already knew that the Du family has a great origin. The son of Du Tingxian, is not an innocent bystander. Du Xiaofu's eyes were a little wet. His drunkard father had been silently protecting him since he was young. In the face of the calamity, our Du family has the thunder vein and a great origin. We will bear the brunt of it. Father and son, we will fight side by side. Even if we can't stop the calamity, we will protect the peace. Du Tingxian said as he patted Du Xiaofu's shoulder. Father, brother, me, don't forget that I'm a natural holy venerable and have awakened the thunder vein. I'm also a member of the Du family. Du Xiaojing's beautiful figure walked over. Her ethereal eyes shone like stars on her extraordinary face. Me too. Our family will never be separated again. Han Aodong walked over with a satisfied smile on her beautiful face. Our family will never be separated again. Du Xiaofu smiled and looked at his drunkard father, mother, and sister beside him. At this moment, he felt very comfortable. I must increase my strength as soon as possible to stop that demonic god. Du Xiaofu's conviction in the depths of his heart grew stronger. His family was finally reunited, and he had to protect them all. The night passed slowly. Early in the morning, everything was silent. The morning light on the eastern horizon slowly soaked into the light blue sky. When the first ray of sunlight pierced through the darkness before dawn, it crossed the mountains and finally enveloped the stone city. Phew! Du Xiaofu, who was sitting cross-legged, withdrew his hand seal and exhaled a mouthful of turbid qi. His eyes shone with golden light as he stretched his back. He felt indescribably comfortable. Rock Emperor, many people are here. There are Elder Qin Yang and Sect Master Sima Tuxing from the Ancient Heaven Sect, Elder Tang Miling from the Hahuan School, and young Sect Master Mu from the Saman Sword Sect. Li Shui reported that many people from the Barren Country had come to congratulate the Barren Country. They were able to receive ordinary guests, but guests like Mu Jianshin from the Ancient Heaven Sect, Hahuan School, and Saman Sword Sect had to be reported. Master, you're here? Du Xiaofu smiled and then disappeared. Li Shui looked at the disappearing figure and smiled. She had known the Demon King's character since their time at the Tianwu Academy. Under his ferocious and domineering appearance, he had always protected his elders and the people around him with his life. Even now that he had stepped into the Saint Realm and was one of the top experts in the world, he still respected his master without the slightest arrogance. Du Xiaofu met his master Feng Qingyang, Senior Sima Tuxing, the Golden Rock Domain Master, and other elders of the Ancient Heaven Sect in a side hall of the palace. Gu Qingyang laughed, his two front teeth protruding out of his mouth. After hearing the news, he immediately rushed to the Barren Country. After chatting with his master Gu Qingyang, Senior Sima Tuxing, and the Golden Rock Domain Master for a while, Du Xiaofu went to see Tang Miling and the others, accompanied by Ji Jian and the others. She didn't come? Du Xiaofu was a little surprised when he didn't see Su Muxin. Master is cultivating in seclusion, Ji Jian said, and then an unfathomable light fell from her eyes. She still remembered that when they were in Tianchuan City, the person in front of her was already unreachable. Do you miss junior sister? I know she wants to come too. I really don't understand you guys. Tang Miling said. Over the years, as her cultivation improved, she became more and more charming and seductive. After a while, I will go to Munchu to see her. Du Xiaofu thought of that beautiful figure in his mind. After a while, Du Xiaofu saw many familiar faces. Mu Jianshin, Yuzheng Tongxian, Feng Wuxie, Mu Qingge, Bailey Wuya, and the others. There was also Hua Zimo, who had an extraordinary relationship with the Barren Country. They were accompanied by Yi Piaoling and the others. When Du Xiaofu arrived, everyone stood up and saluted. Their eyes were shocked, but they were not too restrained. They had fought side by side in the past, and their friendship had long reached the point where it had nothing to do with strength. This is too abnormal. The Saint Realm, I don't know when we will be able to set foot in it. Mu Jianshin and the others stared at Du Xiaofu and carefully sized him up, unable to recover for a long time. The Golden-Winged Rock Clan is here. Such a voice resounded throughout the entire stone city. Golden light expanded from the sky as one figure after another swept over. The formless tyrannical aura shook the heavens. The ones in the lead were Jialo Jueyu and Jialo Kaling. The Phoenix clan is here to pay a visit to Hualei Laozu and the Rock Emperor. The Confucian school is here to pay a visit to Huolei Laozu and the Witch Sovereign. The Taoist school is here to pay a visit to Huolei Laozu and the Rock Emperor. The School of Agriculture is here to pay a visit to the Master of Fire Thunder and the Rock Emperor. Following that, the Stone City was shaken and did not calm down. Various powers came to pay a visit and congratulate. Needless to say, the Golden-Winged Rock clan came directly and did not treat themselves as outsiders. The Phoenix clan, Confucian school, Taoist school, School of Agriculture, School of Moism, School of Yin-Yang, and even the School of Buddhism came. Chapter 22-26. Zixuan, Huang Ling, and Feng Han of the Phoenix clan did not come, but Saint Feng Qi came with Du Xiaohuang. The Confucian school also sent many people, led by the divine ancestor Mo Chiha. His hair was combed into a high bun, and his face was ruddy, as if he always had a smile on his face. Zhou Xiaoluo was nowhere to be seen, but the divine ancestor Jiang Yuechan was in the lead. His hair was white, and his eyes were as deep as the sea. Sima Muhan and Mo Runan were not among the Mahis school, but the divine ancestor Hu Xuanhu was in the lead. The Taoist school's divine ancestor Qing Feng also came with a smile on his face. The Buddhist school's Saint Realm Old Monk was in the lead, and there were also level 9 spirits. These Saint Realm experts came to visit, including Du Tingxian and Du Xiaojing. After all, they were Saint Realm experts. Little Demon Du and Little Star, these two fellows, for some unknown reason, also appeared. The old monster Green Fox was now the Barren Nation's guardian's sacred envoy, so the Saint Realm experts of the 9 great families naturally had to show up. Of course, Huolei Laozu was not in the mood to pay attention to them. He had been cultivating in seclusion in the Barren Nation's palace. Huolei Laozu did not even need to show up with the Barren Nation's lineup. It was enough to make all the major forces tremble. Other than the Barren Nation, who else could bring out such a huge lineup? There were several Saint Realm cultivators. Saint Feng Qi and the others were even more clearly aware that even though Du Xiaoyao, Little Xingxing, Du Tingxian, and Du Xiaojing had only recently broken through to the Saint Realm, these 4 people were all abnormal existences. It was especially so for Du Xiaofu. News of his battle with Qin Yanlong of the Legalism School had long spread. Back then, Du Xiaofu had been able to dominate his peers. He had not yet become a saint, but he had been able to contend with a saint. At this moment, Du Xiaofu had stepped into the saint realm and caused a phenomenon in the world. How could Saint Feng Qi, Taoist Qing Feng, and the others not know how strong he was? They didn't think that they were much stronger than Qin Yanlong. Du Xiaofu met the people from the various major forces. Saint Feng Qi, Taoist Qing Feng, Jiang Yuechan, Hu Xuanhu, and the other Saint Realm experts were even more polite than before. Grandma is in seclusion. Grandpa said that you should send a message to the clan if there's anything. Don't take risks, Jialo Kaling said to Du Xiaofu. All right. Du Xiaofu smiled bitterly, but his heart was filled with warmth. He then asked about the situation of the rocks and learned that his grandmother, Garuda Mola, was in seclusion, attempting to enter the Saint Plain. Grandpa, Grandma, and in the backyard of the Du family, the figures of Little Xingxing and Du Xiaohuang were everywhere, and their clear voices resounded. The Phoenix clan, Confucian school, Taoist school, School of Agriculture, School of Buddhism, and others left after congratulating them. Several days later, the golden-winged great rocks and the ancient heaven sex people also returned home. Tang Miling of the Hahuan school and Mu Jianshan of the Saman Sword sect also returned to Shangzhou. The desolate country once again regained its relative peace for a short time. In the following period, Du Xiaofu stayed in the Du family every day, accompanied by Little Xingxing, Du Xiaohuang, and Du Xiaoqing. The family was peaceful and warm. However, this peace didn't last long. Du Xiaofu knew that he didn't have much time left. There were some things that he had to do. Night fell, and the last trace of red in the sky dissipated into the horizon. Du Xiaofu met with Huolei Laozu in the secret chamber of the imperial palace. You have fulfilled one of the conditions that you mentioned. There is another one left. Is it time to do it now? Huolei's red and blue electric arc eyes seemed to be able to see through Du Xiaofu. Yes, I need you to stay here and accompany me. Du Xiaofu nodded. There were some things that needed to be done as soon as possible. Okay, when do you leave? Hua Lei nodded. I don't know the place yet, but I should be able to find some information. Du Xiaofu said. The moonlight shone on the imperial palace, making it look like a dream. In the imperial palace, the huge dark seeker herb and the immortal grass emitted light, illuminating the stone city in the moonlight. In the depths of the imperial palace, where the dragon veins gathered, the imperial palace was full of dragon qi. Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, Du Xiaofu, and the old monster green fox appeared. What a rich imperial palace dragon qi! The old monster green fox had sharp eyes. He was shocked by the rich imperial palace dragon qi. He had never seen such a surging imperial palace dragon qi. If he could cultivate here for a period of time, he would definitely benefit greatly, even though he had reached the holy beast realm. Suddenly, the old monster of the green fox tribe saw a spiritual long sword hovering above the main hall. The shadow of a golden dragon was entrenched in it. The golden light was like a rising sun, exuding a mysterious and ancient aura. It seemed to be affecting the heaven and earth, and its might was spreading. At this moment, when the old monster green fox took a look at this spiritual sword, he secretly trembled for no reason. What a terrifying sword! The old monster green fox's heart trembled. This sword was not simple. This is the seal of the barren nation. The imperial palace dragon qi here is rich. If you have time in the future, you can come here to cultivate, Du Xiaofu said when he saw the old monster green fox's shock. This is the seal of the barren nation. The old monster green fox was shocked. He had seen a lot of seals of the barren nation, but this was the first time he had seen this kind of seal of the barren nation. It gathered the dragon veins, was nourished by the imperial palace dragon qi, and was protected by heaven. No wonder this sword made him tremble. However, after the shock, the old monster green fox was secretly pleasantly surprised. If he could cultivate here in the future, he would benefit immensely. Dad, what are we doing here? Little Xingxing blinked her big eyes and asked Du Xiaofu. Protect me. I need to do something. Du Xiaofu said to little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, and the old monster green fox. His face became serious. In this hall, the imperial palace dragon qi lingered around him. With the power of heaven and earth, he was filled with great majesty for no reason. Okay. Looking at the serious expression on Du Xiaofu's face, Du Xiaoyao, the old monster green fox, and little Xingxing also became serious, especially little Xingxing and Du Xiaoyao. It was rare for them to see Du Xiaofu so serious. It seemed that this matter was not a trivial matter. Hiss! Hearing this, Du Xiaofu rushed out and sat cross-legged in the center of the hall. Little Xingxing, the old monster green fox, and Du Xiaoyao also became serious. They stood guard outside the hall. Phew! After taking a deep breath, Du Xiaofu's eyes flashed with a flash of lightning, and he formed a handprint in his hands. Boom! Suddenly, the hall trembled, and the imperial palace dragon qi surged. A faint dragon roar could be heard from the entrenched He-Gemin shadow. In the courtyard of the Du family, Du Tingxian looked into the depths of the imperial palace. His hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were calm but deep. Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, and the old monster green fox are all here. The space fluctuated, and Du Xiaojing quietly appeared beside Du Tingxian. She looked into the depths of the imperial palace. The auras of little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, and the old monster green fox could not escape her detection. Chapter 22-27. In the main hall of the imperial palace, Du Xiaofu condensed his handprints, causing the imperial dragon qi to fluctuate. When the last handprint was condensed, silver-gold lightning arcs flashed across his eyes, and a white light whizzed out of his body like divine light, shaking the main hall. Sizzle! Bolts of lightning shuttled back and forth. Instantly, with Du Xiaofu at the center, silver-gold bolts of lightning fluctuated in the surroundings within the hall, and they were dense and covered in dazzling talisman markings. Bolts of lightning poured down like a waterfall and enveloped Du Xiaofu within it, causing lightning to crackle without end. It's the spiritual thunder! The old monster green fox, who was outside the main hall, could not help but look back in astonishment. Boom! At the same time, a vast primordial spirit aura soared into the sky from Du Xiaofu's body, causing the main hall to tremble and sweep out, accompanied by lightning and thunder. If Du Xiaofu had set up restrictions around the main hall, the entire stone city would have been greatly affected at this moment. The power of his primordial spirit is too terrifying. Even so, the old monster green fox was stunned by the impact of the vast primordial spirit power. The Demon King's body was too incredible. His physical body was abnormal, his combat strength was abnormal, and the power of his primordial spirit was also extremely abnormal. In the main hall, as the power of Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit swept out from his body, his eyes had quietly closed, and the vast qi aura around him gradually calmed down. Du Xiaofu sat quietly with his legs crossed. At this moment, there was no longer any light on his body. Everything returned to calmness, like an old monk who had entered meditation. However, at this moment, a cluster of flames and lightning arcs began to flicker in the center of Du Xiaofu's eyebrows. No one knew that in Du Xiaofu's mud pill palace, the soul seed of the 3,000 quaking thunder, which had been silent all this time, began to glow as if it had awakened. The flames and lightning arcs seemed to be burning, becoming more and more brilliant. At a closer look, a strand of silver-gold lightning from Du Xiaofu's crimson pheasant monkey landed on the 3,000 thunder soul seed, activating it and reviving it. Within the hall, Du Xiaofu sat cross-legged like an old monk in meditation. In fact, Du Xiaofu was trying something he had never done before. He was trying to find the whereabouts of his master, Xiahou Feng. The family had been reunited. Du Xiaofu did not forget that his master was still in the hands of the devil religion and his whereabouts were unknown. When the 7-star hall was destroyed, Du Xiaofu swore that he would find his master one day. As a disciple, Du Xiaofu never dared to forget his master. Du Xiaofu knew that his master was still alive, judging from the imprint on the 3,000 thunder soul seed that was still in his Naiwan palace. Over the years, Du Xiaofu had been honing his skills along the way. All he wanted was to reunite with his family and rescue his master from the devil religion. The devil religion was mysterious. No one knew its whereabouts, not even the 9 great families, dragons, or phoenixes. This time, Du Xiaofu had inquired about the devil religion's whereabouts from Saint Feng Qi and Taoist Qing Feng, but to no avail. It was already difficult to find the devil religion, not to mention a person who had fallen into the hands of the devil religion. Under normal circumstances, Du Xiaofu knew that it would be difficult for him to succeed. It would not be easy for him to find his master's whereabouts. However, the soul seed of the 3,000 repelling thunderbolts had always been with him. Now that he had stepped into the saint realm, his primordial spirit had also become a saint like his physical body. Du Xiaofu wanted to give it a try. With the help of his primordial spirit and the soul seed of the 3,000 repelling thunderbolts, it was not impossible to find the exact location of his master, Xiahou Feng. Du Xiaofu had been pondering for a long time. Back then, his master, Xiahou Feng, had placed the 3,000 vibrating thunder soul seed in his body, but he did not cut off the connection. Strictly speaking, the 3,000 vibrating thunder soul seeds still belonged to his master, Xiahou Feng. There was naturally an invisible connection between the two, and there would be an invisible mark. This mark and connection would only disappear when his master, Xiahou Feng, had completely fallen. However, if he wanted to use the 3,000 Thunder Soul Seed to find his master, Du Xiaofu would need a vast amount of Yuan spirit power. Even when he had reached the level of immortality, he did not do it. On the one hand, his Yuan spirit power was not enough. On the other hand, with his cultivation strength at that time, even if he knew the whereabouts of his master, Du Xiaofu knew that he could do nothing. There was no way he could save his master from the devil religion. Now that he had reached the sage realm and had Du Xiaoyao, Xingxing, the old monster green fox, and Huolei Laozu by his side, Du Xiaofu decided to do it. When Du Xiaofu negotiated with Huolei Laozu, he wanted to reach the sage realm one day and save his master from the devil religion with Huolei Laozu. The demon god and the 9 great demon emperors were already recovering. If he went to the devil religion at this time, he would definitely be in a very dangerous situation. However, Du Xiaofu thought that the devil religion had not taken action yet. Those demon emperors and demon gods must also be recovering. If he knew the whereabouts of his master at this time, with his strength, Huolei Laozu, and the others, he could take them by surprise and end the battle quickly. At that time, he would definitely have a chance to save his master and escape unscathed. Now, the most important thing was to know the whereabouts of his master, the venerable weapon. Du Xiaofu entered the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds with the power of his spirit, trying to find the whereabouts of his master, the venerable weapon. Originally, the spiritual thunder soul seeds were the natural nemesis of the spirit. Du Xiaofu's spirit had several kinds of spiritual thunder soul seeds in it. The spiritual thunder soul seeds absolutely repelled each other, and all of them wanted to devour each other. It was difficult for Du Xiaofu to find his master's whereabouts in the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds with the power of his spirit. However, Du Xiaofu was also confident. The 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds had been in his mud pill palace for a long time and had long been used to his spirit. With the current power of his spirit, it was enough to suppress the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds and make them obedient. As Du Xiaofu expected, with his current strength and the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds in his mud pill palace, he entered the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds with the power of his spirit. Although he was resisted, he was able to forcibly suppress and guide the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds. It was a daunting experience and went smoothly. Walala! After suppressing the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds, Du Xiaofu's spirit directly entered the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seeds. In an instant, it was as if his eyes were dazzled. It was as if he was in an illusion. A bright flaming arc of lightning appeared in front of Du Xiaofu's eyes. Lightning flashed and thunder roared. It was vast and boundless. A fire beast the size of a baby appeared in front of Du Xiaofu's spirit. Its entire body was covered with bright flaming arcs of lightning. It was crystal clear. Its wings were like thunder wings. It had the head of a lion and the body of a phoenix. It roared. This was the transformation of the 3,000 quaking thunder soul seed. Du Xiaofu immediately gathered the power of his spirit and directly plunged it into the glabella of the strange beast. Chapter 22-28. Roar. The power of Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit rushed in. With a roar, the soul seed beast immediately closed its eyes and an invisible wave of energy spread out. At this moment, Du Xiaofu seemed to be shuttling through a crack in the void. It was pitch black all around, and there seemed to be a faint spark of electricity in front of him. Du Xiaofu did not hesitate. The power of his primordial spirit rushed forward as if he was shuttling through time and space. The spark of electricity in front of him seemed to be right in front of him, but in fact, it was extremely far away. Du Xiaofu was extremely careful and did not dare to be careless. The power of his primordial spirit moved forward cautiously. There could not be any accidents. If he failed, not only would all his previous efforts be wasted, but his primordial spirit would also be severely injured. More importantly, he could not afford to fail. At this moment, time seemed to have lost its meaning. It was very long, but also like an instant. The spark of electricity in front of him became more and more intense. The light screen spread out, like the exit of a passage. Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit shuttled through the spark of electricity carefully. In an instant, the space widened. A wave of sinister energy filled the space, accompanied by a strong evil aura. The next moment, a huge dark space appeared in Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit. It was covered in dark clouds and filled with demonic qi. It was terrifying and eerie. There were many mountains and many strange plants growing there. It gave people an extremely oppressive feeling. There were several towering mountains that were gathered together. They were densely covered with strange dark talisman runes. There was a huge black palace on top of these mountains. It was so huge that it was terrifying. In front of it, a giant beast that was thousands of feet long seemed extremely small. The familiar aura. When his primordial spirit swept across the huge and terrifying hall, Du Xiaofu immediately felt a familiar aura coming from the depths of the huge hall. The aura was the same as the 3,000 thunder that he was connected to. They were invisibly connected. Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit trembled. He immediately followed the aura and rushed toward the hall. There were many demonic beasts and evil spirits in front of the hall. Their eyes were blood red and their auras were terrifying. At this moment, there was no reaction. They could not sense Du Xiaofu's approach. Inside the hall, there was a flickering light screen. Huge stone pillars were densely covered with ferocious demonic beasts and strange talisman patterns. It made people tremble for no reason. The hall was too Xiaofu. Demonic beasts and evil spirits were of powerful demonic beasts and evil spirits occupied. Following the familiar fluctuation of aura, Du Xiaofu passed through it, and he quickly arrived at an enormous and dim hall. This large hall was vast and towered into the peak of a mountain. At the center of the large hall, there were 3 figures seated cross-legged. Their bodies were shrouded in dense demonic chi as they surrounded a stone pillar that was 5 feet in diameter. On this stone pillar, strange talisman runes were densely covered, emitting a terrifying aura. On the stone pillar, there was a figure covered in blazing flames and electric arcs. At a closer look, there was a figure wrapped within the fiercely burning electric arcs. His long black hair was disheveled and draped over his shoulders. Electric arcs were emitted from his body. He appeared to be around 50 years old. His crimson long robes also seemed to have flames rising at this moment. The strange talisman patterns on the stone pillar were like chains that tightly wrapped around the figure. They passed through the old man's forehead and emitted a strange aura. The blazing flames and electric arcs burning on the old man's body were unable to destroy the strange talisman patterns. Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit trembled violently when he saw the old man's figure. The old man's face was slightly older than before. However, how could Du Xiaofu forget that this was his master? He had been captured by the devil religion and had been imprisoned here. Looking at the old man's face being bound by the devil chi, it was a great pain and torture. This was his master, who had treated him like his own son. Seeing his master being treated like this, Du Xiaofu's heart ached and a monstrous chill spread out. At this moment, the closed eyes of the weapon venerable seemed to have sensed something. His eyes trembled under the cover of his messy hair, and then he slowly struggled to open his eyes. His eyes, which were supposed to be filled with flames and lightning, were now a bit muddy and dim. Seeing his master open his eyes, Du Xiaofu finally couldn't help it. He used the power of his origin soul to take the form of a figure. His body trembled as he landed in the hall and knelt down on one knee. His voice was hoarse and trembling as he said, "Master, disciple is unfilial and has made you suffer." When Du Xiaofu's illusory primordial spirit appeared, the eyes of the weapon saint froze and his body couldn't help but tremble. Looking at the young man kneeling in front of him, the venerable weapon master's eyes began to flicker with flame runes under his thick eyebrows. From the depths of his throat, he said in a hoarse voice, "Xiaofu, my disciple." "Master!" Du Xiaofu's voice trembled. His heart-wrenching pain completely erupted when he heard his master's voice. Good, with such a disciple, even if I, Xiahou Feng, die, it will be worth it." Xiahou Feng smiled as lightning surged around his body. How could he not know how strong and powerful a primordial spirit was for a primordial spirit to appear here? It hadn't been long, but this little guy had already reached this step. It was likely that he had already stepped into the legendary realm. "Master, your disciple will definitely come to save you as soon as possible." Du Xiaofu's eyes were red and his voice was choked with sobs. "No, this place is not as simple as you think. Hurry up and leave. With a disciple like you, I, Xiahou Feng, have no regrets in my life." The weapon saint shook his head. His disciple was no longer the same as before, but he also knew that this place was not ordinary. "Kid, hurry up and leave. A devil king is coming." At the same time, Hua Leizi's voice came out from Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit. "Master, your disciple will definitely come back to save you." Du Xiaofu's voice was firm. As his voice fell, his eyes trembled and the illusory primordial spirit suddenly disappeared. Swish! As Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit disappeared, a hair-raising aura suddenly appeared in the hall. The space distorted and a middle-aged man in armor walked out. He didn't look old, but his black hair reached his shoulders. He had a strong body and strange runes flashed on his black armor. He was one of the 9 devil kings of the devil religion, the Geo-Devil Emperor. He's really here. Looking at the place where Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit had just disappeared, the Geo-Devil Emperor's eyes were gloomy. Then, he turned around and looked at the weapon saint, Xiahou Fenglei, and said, "Keeping you alive is indeed useful. It seems that you're really important to that kid. However, this time, he's dead for sure. He won't be able to return. If my disciple was so easy to deal with, you wouldn't have waited until today." The weapon saint looked at the Geo-Devil Emperor and said. Chapter 22-29. If it weren't for the spiritual thunder in your body, you wouldn't be qualified to be here. I can turn you into ashes with a single finger. When that kid comes, there's no point in keeping you alive. It's finally time to harvest the large amount of resources I've invested in you. Geo-Demon Emperor said gloomily. I feel that sooner or later, you'll die at the hands of my disciple. Perhaps, that day is not far away, Weapon Master said flatly. When that kid comes, it'll be the end of you and your disciple. Geo-Demon Emperor's face twitched gloomily, and then he disappeared. A smile surfaced on the face of the venerated Equipment Master, who was wrapped in a fierce flame, as he watched the disappearing figure of the Geo-Demon Emperor. The fact that the Demon Emperor placed such importance on him, to the point that he could not forget about him, was enough to show that his disciple had likely caused the Devil Sect to suffer a lot, leaving the Devil Sect helpless. Xiaofu is my disciple. You must be careful. Weapon Master Xiahou Fenglei frowned immediately. He knew his disciple's character and temper very well. How could he not come? Even if he knew that this place was extremely dangerous, he would still come. Hula. In the middle of Weapon Master's frowning brows, the mysterious runes on the mysterious chain of runes kept flashing like flowing water. It seemed that something was constantly flowing into his mind, causing the blazing arcs of lightning around him to burn even brighter. In the desolate country, Du Xiaofu had been sitting cross-legged in the main hall of the palace, like an old monk in meditation. A wave of primordial spirit vibrated around Du Xiaofu, and the blazing arcs of lightning between his eyebrows gradually dimmed and finally disappeared. If I'm not wrong, your master is imprisoned in one of the Devil Emperor palaces. Hua Lei said in Du Xiaofu's mind. He had entered Du Xiaofu's Naiwen Palace in advance to help Du Xiaofu find Weapon Master Xiahou Fenglei at the critical moment. However, Du Xiaofu had already succeeded on his own. At the last moment, when Du Xiaofu lost control of his emotions, he reminded Du Xiaofu that a Devil Emperor was coming. The situation seems to be a little better than I imagined. The Devil Emperors of the Devil religion all have Devil Emperor palaces, and each Devil Emperor palace should only be guarded by one Devil Emperor. If we encounter that Devil God, it will be really troublesome. Hua Lei recognized the Devil Emperor palace with Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit. He also learned of Du Xiaofu's purpose from the Devil Emperor palace. He frowned slightly and continued, however, with the Devil Emperor's strength, I'm afraid that he has already discovered your tracks. He will definitely be prepared and waiting for you to go rescue him. No matter what, we have to go rescue my master. The Devil Emperor probably won't expect us to be so fast. If we end the battle quickly, we might have a chance. Thinking of his master who was imprisoned in the palace, Du Xiaofu felt a heart-wrenching pain. No matter what, he had to rescue his master and end the battle quickly. He might have a chance, but when the Devil Gods and Devil Emperors recovered, the chances would be even slimmer. If we take them by surprise and end the battle quickly, we might have a chance. Master Hua Lei thought about it and agreed with Du Xiaofu. He raised his eyebrows and red and blue lightning flashed in his eyes. He said, however, if we can invite the old rock from the golden-winged rocks, the old tree from the Fong family, and the old bird from the Phoenix family, then our chances will be even higher. Hua Lei knew about the relationship between Du Xiaofu and the golden-winged Great Peng clan. His relationship with the Fong Ji clan wasn't bad either. Also, the relationship between the dragon and the Phoenix clan wasn't trivial. If Du Xiaofu could ask, it wouldn't be a big problem. At that time, he would be much more relaxed and safe. It's too late. Let's ask those seniors. I'm afraid that the Devil Emperor will be fully prepared. Du Xiaofu shook his head. If the Devil Emperor of the Devil Emperor's palace really found them, he would definitely be fully prepared. If they asked the golden-winged Great Peng clan, the Great Luan sect, and Mount Wutong for help, the Devil Emperor would have more time to prepare. At this moment, with their strength and Huolei Laozu's help, they would have the greatest chance to launch a surprise attack at lightning speed. All right. Huolei Zi's face twitched when he heard that. He looked very helpless. Everything in the main hall calmed down and the mighty aura dissipated. Is the Rock Emperor all right? The old monster green fox stuck his head out of the main hall and asked Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing, who were next to him. Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing also looked serious. They had rarely seen Du Xiaofu take something so seriously. Looking at what happened just now, they were quite suspicious and nervous at this moment. Hiss! It was also at this moment that Du Xiaofu's tightly shut eyes slowly opened. A bright light flashed in his eyes as he stood up. Father! Rock Emperor! Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, and the old monster green fox came to Du Xiaofu's side. The three of them secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Don't worry. I need your help. It should be quite dangerous. Du Xiaofu said to Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing. What else haven't you done? Go. Du Xiaoyao nodded. There's nothing to be afraid of. Little Xingxing didn't take it seriously. Du Xiaofu smiled at Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing. Naturally, he had nothing to say to Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing. My master, Xiahou Feng, the venerable weapon, was captured by the devil religion. He is now in a devil emperor's palace, guarded by a devil emperor. As his disciple, I dare not forget my master's kindness. I can't let my master suffer anymore, so I want to go to the devil emperor's palace to save him. Du Xiaofu looked at the old monster green fox and said seriously, You are the guardian sage of the heavenly beast palace, but this is my personal matter and it is extremely dangerous. Therefore, I have to inform you. If it is inconvenient for you to go, I won't blame you. If you can help me, I will remember your kindness and be very grateful. The old monster green fox was a little surprised. He had heard that the master of the Demon King, Du Xiaofu, was an elder of the Ancient Heaven sect. He guessed that the master of the Ancient Heaven sect was just a nominal master of the Demon King. Even the Mo family behind the Ancient Heaven sect could not train such an abnormal disciple, let alone the small Ancient Heaven sect. At this moment, hearing that the Demon King had another master, the old monster green fox became curious. What kind of master is he to be able to train such an abnormal disciple? Is he a super master who has been living in seclusion? Rock Emperor, you are too polite. Of course, I will go with you. I will go through fire and water and die 1,000 times. Although the old monster green fox was surprised, he naturally knew that he should make this choice. If Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing went with him, it was enough to prove how important this matter was to the Demon King. Once he succeeded, his position in the desolate country would be firmly established. Hearing the old monster green fox's words, Du Xiaofu smiled. Let's go. As soon as he finished speaking, Du Xiaofu disappeared from the main hall. Now, they needed to attack as quickly as possible. They had to race against time. Du Xiaoyao, little Xingxing, and the old monster green fox followed closely and disappeared. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Four figures rose into the sky from the main hall of the imperial palace like lightning and appeared in the void. Although I don't know what you want to do, I am your father. I won't hold you back. We are a family. Let me do something for my brother. Suddenly, these voices were heard, and the void fluctuated. Du Tingxian and Du Xiaojing appeared in front of Du Xiaofu and the other three. In the moonlit night, their eyes were dazzling with lightning. One of them was as tall and straight as a spear, looking extraordinary. The other was graceful and charming, like an immortal who had descended to the mortal world. With the moonlight pouring down and her hair swaying slightly, she looked otherworldly. But, looking at the two figures in front of him, Du Xiaofu smiled bitterly and nodded. Du Xiaofu didn't want to disturb his drunkard father and sister who had just reunited, but now it seemed that he was treating them as outsiders. When he saw Du Tingxian and Du Xiaojing, the old monster green fox was even more confident. The old monster green fox was well aware that Du Xiaoyao, Little Xingxing, Du Tingxian, and Du Xiaojing were the Demon King's family. He was also one of them. If he succeeded, he would have a real place in the desolate country. The moonlight shone in the sky, casting a dim yellow light on the surroundings. The magnificent imperial palace stood in the night like a golden island. 6 figures were in the sky, and 6 vast and terrifying auras were quietly fluctuating. "Master, I'm coming." In the void, Du Xiaofu looked at the sky in front of him. Golden light flashed in his eyes, and a gust of coldness surged. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Then the 6 figures tore through the void and disappeared in an instant. The night was dark. The mountains were connected, the rocks overlapped, and the courtyard was fluctuating with a terrifying aura. Under the dim moonlight, 2 young men were wrapped in moksha aura. One of them looked to be in his 30s, and his young face was extremely gloomy. The latter had blonde hair, and his handsome face was a little pale. There was still a strange and gorgeous charm in the depths of his terrifying eyes. These 2 people were Xin Yan from the mysterious talisman sect and Dongli Qihuang, who had been thought to be dead for a long time. I didn't expect him to not only survive but also step into the saint realm. Shen Yan sneered, and his gloomy voice echoed in the deep valley. They had seen with their own eyes that the Demon King was killed by the demon god. They didn't expect him to appear again. Well, he is destined to die in my hands. Dongli Qihuang's eyes emitted a terrifying light in the night with expectation. If he didn't kill him with his own hands, he would not be able to vent the hatred in his heart. Even if he steps into the saint realm, we still have a chance. The catastrophe is coming, and the world will fall into the demon's domain. The 9 families, the Phoenix clan, and the dragons can't even protect themselves. Then it will be our best chance. Shen Yan looked up at the night sky, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Chapter 2230. I can finally kill him with my own hands. When he sees that I'm still alive, I'm sure the expression on his face will be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. Dongli Qihuang's eyes shone with a cold light as the murderous aura on his body fluctuated, causing the wind to blow and the clouds to surge. Black clouds covered the moon, as if a peerless demon had been born. In the void, the surroundings were pitch black, but there was a faint white glow. Whoosh whoosh, several figures shuttled through the void, stirring up violent spatial turbulence and forming a spatial storm that tore through the void. Even if a peak domain realm cultivator was swept up by this spatial storm, he would be torn to pieces. Just the air currents that shot out from the spatial storm alone were enough to pierce through the void and cut open the physical body of a domain realm expert. Tearing through the void was an extremely dangerous thing to do. Only Saint Realm experts like Du Xiaofu, Du Xiaoyao, and Little Xingxing dared to travel through the void. Of course, even Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, and the others did not dare to be careless when tearing through the void. Tearing through the void was similar to traveling through a spatial wormhole. Although a spatial wormhole was fast, it was not as fast as tearing through the void. However, since a spatial wormhole was opened by an expert, it had already stabilized the space at a certain level. Under normal circumstances, it was difficult to discover anything unexpected. However, tearing through the void was not the same. In the process of tearing through the void, wherever one passed, it could cause the void to collapse at any time. Whoosh whoosh. In the void, Du Xiaofu's figure broke through the void, his body wrapped in golden light. His primordial spirit followed the imprint of his master, the weapon sovereign, which he had found with the 3,000 jolting lightning. Du Xiaofu needed to rescue his master by surprise so that the demon emperor would not be prepared. Therefore he moved at full speed. The void was originally silent, but wherever Du Xiaofu and the others passed, the void surged, storms swept, and pitch-black spatial cracks spread. There was a fatal danger of the void collapsing at any time. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, Du Tingxian, Du Xiaojing the old monster green fox, and the others followed Du Xiaofu through the void with ear-piercing wind-breaking sounds. They followed Du Xiaofu and dashed forward like lightning. The spatial fluctuations they stirred up along the way formed many spatial storms behind them. "We're here!" Suddenly, Du Xiaofu's figure stood in the void. His primordial spirit followed the aura of his master, the venerable weapon. Now that he had the exact coordinates, he finally arrived at the destination. Let's end the battle quickly and prioritize saving people. Don't get entangled. Du Xiaojing's clear eyes blinked. Along the way, she had learned the purpose of this trip from Du Xiaofu. With a flick of her wrist, she waved at the empty space in front of her. A pitch-black spatial crack immediately appeared. Light flashed under her feet, and a graceful figure directly rushed out from the void. We'll take care of everything else. Your priority is to save your master. Du Tingxian said to Du Xiaofu, and then he followed closely behind Du Xiaojing. Let's go! The auras of Little Star, Du Xiaoyao, and the old monster green fox surged as they broke through the void. At this moment, a cold light flashed in the depths of Du Xiaofu's determined eyes. Without any hesitation, he followed closely behind them. When Du Xiaofu rushed out and floated in the air, the pitch-black spatial crack behind him also slowly disappeared. At this moment, a huge hall appeared in front of Du Xiaofu, lying on several towering mountains. In front of such a huge hall, the 10,000-meter-long giant beast looked extremely small. The mountain peak and the giant hall seemed to have fused into one. Strange runes filled the air, dusky space, and dense demonic qi. Even with everyone's current cultivation, they could not help but feel extremely uncomfortable in this strange space. If it was someone with a lower cultivation level, they would not dare to stay in this space. This is the place. Du Xiaofu raised his eyes slightly and looked at the huge hall. When he appeared here, he felt the familiar aura of his master's 3,000 jolting thunder. Wu, following the appearance of several figures, the devil qi in the giant hall below surged. The giant scarlet eyes were like blood moons descending from the sky. Several demonic beasts appeared, roaring ferociously at Du Xiaofu, Little Xingxing, and the others. Devil qi billowed, and the stench of blood filled the air. You're courting death. Little Xingxing let out a cold snort. He immediately waved his small fist and a golden flame immediately swept out. A high temperature spread apart in an instant. This high temperature and the golden flame were extremely destructive. They instantly collided with the bodies of the couple of demonic beasts. Sharp beast roars were immediately emitted as a couple of demonic beasts were turned into a rain of blood. Who dares to trespass into the Demon King Palace? You're courting death. The sinister voice was like the wailing of ghosts and the howling of gods. Many figures flew out from the gigantic Devil Sovereign Palace. All of them were evil spirit experts, exuding terrifying devil qi. Terrifying auras gushed forth from them. Die! The old monster green fox attacked, and a claw print tore through the void. Wherever the claw print passed, the space was distorted. Rip! Several evil spirit experts were directly torn apart and turned into monstrous demon qi. Everyone, be careful! As soon as Du Xiaofu's voice fell, golden light rippled in his eyes, and the soles of his feet rippled. He immediately rushed toward the huge Demon King Palace. Oh! The void trembled, and the demon beasts and evil spirit experts in the Demon King Palace rushed out. However, before they could get close to Du Xiaofu, they exploded in the void. Du Xiaofu did not stop and rushed straight into the Demon King Palace. Saving his master was the most important thing. Bang, bang, bang. Outside the Demon King Palace, Du Tingxian, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, the old monster green fox, and Du Xiaojing had already made their moves. Although these demon beasts and evil spirit experts were terrifying and incomparably powerful, they were no match for the current Saint Stage experts such as Du Xiaojing, Du Tingxian, and Little Xingxing. In an instant they collapsed. Rumble! The earth quaked, the mountains shook, and the mountains swayed. Under the attacks of Du Xiaoyao and the other Saint Stage experts, the huge Demon King Palace also trembled. Whoosh! Inside the Devil Sovereign Palace, Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit had already been here once. At this moment, he didn't stop at all. His figure flashed out like a bolt of lightning, and the evil spirit experts and demonic beasts along the way didn't even have time to react. TSK, you've come much faster than I expected. You're really brave. Suddenly, Such a voice reverberated in the Demon King Palace. The void in front of him distorted, and demon chi filled the sky. A demon chi claw print seemed to have crossed the void, and wherever it passed, the space distorted as it came down on Du Xiaofu. If you don't have the guts, then don't come. Today, your devil religion will pay the price. Although Du Xiaofu was moving quickly, he was not careless. He immediately stopped, and his eyes darkened. A terrifying and domineering aura suddenly swept out from his body. Chapter 2231. At the same time, purple lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Roar! A domineering aura swept out with the roar of a dragon and the trumpeting of an elephant. Du Xiaofu's fist, infused with the power of lightning, immediately slammed heavily against the demonic claw. Boom! The two forces collided and the surrounding space immediately shattered with a boom. As space collapsed, the hall collapsed. Boulders rolled down as the earth quaked. Rumble! In an instant, the entire Demon King's hall collapsed. A large number of boulders and palaces fell. Energy surged into the sky as space shattered. Chi la la! Du Xiaofu was blown away by the demonic claw in the collapsing Demon King's hall. Inside the collapsed Devil Emperor Palace, a cold and gloomy snort sounded. Following the falling boulders and the collapsing Devil Emperor Palace, spatial turbulence seemed to explode. A figure flashed out from within, wrapped in devil chi. His body was covered in a strange black devil chi armor. Du Xiaofu halted his retreat. His eyes immediately sank when he saw the figure that had appeared. It was the Geodemon Emperor of the Devil Religion. How could Du Xiaofu forget? The person who had attacked earlier was naturally the Geodemon Emperor as well. Judging from the earlier exchange, Du Xiaofu could not help but frown. This Demon Emperor had recovered too much. If not for the fact that his fleshly body and primordial spirit were impervious to the demonic aura, he would have died just now. You sure came quickly. The Geodemon Emperor's young face darkened when he shot out from the collapsing Demon King's hall. He shook his arms and a monstrous demonic aura immediately swept out. He stared at Du Xiaofu coldly and said, "There's a path to heaven, but you refuse to take it. Kid, today will be the death anniversary of your master and disciple." Du Xiaofu took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. He raised his eyes slightly and looked at the Geodemon Emperor. He raised his eyebrows and his resolute face immediately darkened. A cold light flashed in his eyes as he said, "I'm afraid you're not enough. It's the Geodemon Emperor. And this quickly. Kill." At the same time, the Geodemon Emperor's appearance and shocking actions immediately attracted the attention of Little Xingxing, Du Tingxian, Du Xiaoyao, and Du Xiaojing below the Demon King's hall. Let's deal with the Geodemon Emperor together. Du Xiao, Du Xiaojing, Du Tingxian, Green Fox, and Little Xingxing, the Green Fox Monster, and Little, and Xingxing. Space shattered space, the space, the space, the space, the space, the space, and evil demons, and demonic monsters and Xingxing as space. After that, Du Tingxian, Du Xiaojing, and several other figures shot out in a straight line, intending to help Du Xiaofu. Are you relying on them? The Geodemon Emperor looked at Du Tingxian and the others, who were rushing over from below the Demon King's hall at lightning speed. The Geodemon Emperor sneered and said in a sinister tone, "The whole family is here. There's also that strange dragon and the red-bone horse monkey. What an unexpected harvest. Unfortunately, it's far from enough." As he spoke, the Geodemon Emperor formed a strange handprint in his hand. The huge Demon King's hall trembled incessantly. Several towering dark mountains seemed to come alive in an instant. Strange, mysterious runes covered the mountains and several waves of demonic aura soared into the sky. In an instant, they moved horizontally and rotated together, blocking Du Xiaojing, Du Xiaoyao, and the others who were about to rush up. Awoo, rumble, ghosts wailed and gods howled. The earth shook and the mountains shook. In a short moment, monstrous demonic aura gathered from the sky. It seemed endless. Darkness descended. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Black lightning filled the void. It was as if the door to hell had been opened. The ferocious demonic shadow appeared. Other than the huge Demon King's hall above, the surroundings had turned into a demonic domain. The space was isolated and enveloped Du Tingxian, Du Shaojing, and the others. It was as if they were pulled into the demonic domain. The vast demonic aura surged, causing Du Xiaofu's heart to tremble. Looking at the sudden change, Du Xiaofu's expression changed. The Geodemon Emperor had indeed prepared for this. This was a terrifying formation. Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit Red Horse Monkey could sense that this was far from an ordinary formation. Even Lord Demon God didn't turn you into ashes. I have to say that you're really lucky. Unfortunately, you're still courting death. Once I'm done with you, the Red-Bone Horse Monkey and the Strange Dragon will be almost done. Now, your only trump card should be the Fire Lightning Seed. Seeing that the monstrous demonic aura formation had trapped Du Tingxian and the others, the Geodemon Emperor stared coldly at Du Xiaofu and said coldly, "Fire Lightning Seed, I can feel your aura. Since you're here, why are you hiding?" You're really bold, Geodemon Emperor." A thunderous laughter rang out. From Du Xiaofu's forehead, the Fire Lightning Seed's figure flew out. As the space rippled, scarlet-blue flame arcs seeped out from the surrounding void. The blazing aura of destruction quietly spread across the sky. Fire Lightning Seed. The Geodemon Emperor wasn't surprised at all when he saw the Fire Lightning Seed. It was as if everything was within his expectations. He also knew that the Fire Lightning Seed didn't come with good intentions. The demonic aura on his body rose sharply as he stared at the Fire Lightning Seed. "You want to stop me with just you? Let the great Demon Emperor come. You're not enough." The Fire Lightning Seed's voice was accompanied by coldness. Scarlet-blue flame arcs fluctuated. His long scarlet-red hair looked real and illusory. His body was like a Mithria. The Geodemon Emperor must have notified the other Demon Emperors. "Let's end this quickly. I have no problem stopping this Demon Emperor. You go and save your master first." At the same time, the Fire Lightning Seed's voice fell into Du Xiaofu's ears. "Fire Lightning Seed, do you really think it's still the same as before? The one you followed is already dead. You still dare to go against us? Do you really want to die?" The Geodemon Emperor's face was gloomy. He stared at the Fire Lightning Seed coldly, but there was also some fear in his eyes. "You're stalling for time and waiting for the others to come? Then I'll deal with you first." The Fire Lightning Seed's face sank. He waved his arm and a scarlet-blue energy fluctuation surged out from his palm. It was filled with a vast aura, as if it came from ancient times. He immediately slapped the Geodemon Emperor. "Fire Lightning Seed, it's not your turn to be arrogant here." The Geodemon Emperor's face was gloomy as he took a step forward. Demonic aura leaked out from his black armor. The demonic aura in his body was monstrous. He also threw out a punch. In front of his fist, a large area of the void shattered silently. Bang! Bang! The palm and fist collided. It was as though two meteorites had collided together. A low and deep sonic boom suddenly resounded at the point of collision, deafening everyone's ears. The demonic aura was monstrous. Scarlet-blue lightning spread out, shattering the space and drowning the void. Du Xiaofu raised his eyes and looked at the huge palace in front of him. There was a familiar aura fluctuating there. It was the place where his master was imprisoned. Chapter 2232. Du Xiaofu gritted his teeth as he looked at the strange array. With the strength of Du Xiaoyao, his sister Du Tingxian, little Xingxing and the rest, it would be difficult for the array to do anything to them. Swoosh! Du Xiaofu's figure was like lightning as he rushed towards the main palace. Saving his master was more important. When the 9 Demon Emperors saw Du Xiaofu rushing towards the main palace, he did not stop him. The corners of his mouth curled into a sneer as he said to Hua Leizi, "Hua Leizi, do you really think that I am afraid of you?" An indifferent and gloomy voice came from the 9 Demon Emperors' mouth as demonic aura surged and gathered around his body. It was as if he had transformed into a huge demonic shadow. As the demonic aura surged, a palm print was pushed out. The space seemed to have been torn apart as a huge demonic seal condensed and slammed towards Hua Leizi. This terrifying demonic seal caused the void to tremble violently, and a strange invisible force seeped out, penetrating through every orifice. Walala, a large area of space was silently shattered in an instant, causing one's hair to stand on end. It won't be a problem to deal with 10 of you. Walazi's voice was ancient and melodious. Red-blue flames descended from the sky around his body. The energy resonated with the heavens and the earth, giving off an ancient and desolate aura of destruction. Within the mysterious red-blue flames, the vast and mighty energy formed a stormy wave as it swept towards the former's demonic seal. Chi-la-la. The red-blue flames contained the power to destroy all living things. There seemed to be a faint sound of thunder accompanying it. Under this terrifying power, the demonic seal shattered inch by inch. Umph! The 9-demon emperor seemed to have suffered a loss as he coldly snorted. His huge body was covered in demonic light as his eyes were pitch black like black holes. The surrounding energy of the heavens and the earth became chaotic due to the demonic aura. Without stopping, waves of strange black ripples spread out from his huge body, shaking the space as they swept towards Hualazi. Bang 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 bang, not far away, the strange demonic aura array kept exploding. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Ghosts cried and gods howled. A large area of the world was distorted as the array shook. However, above this array, the strange demonic aura and black talisman runes covered it as if it was connected to the 9 nether hell. Endless demonic aura and evil chi rushed down as if it was indestructible. Swoosh, Du Xiaofu editor, Chrissy, Hualazi arrived at the huge main palace. At this moment, the main hall was still in perfect condition. Strange black runes covered the entire hall densely. Demonic chi floated in the surroundings, and a deep and dark passage extended into the hall. Du Xiaofu slowed is Du? Everything was the same as when Du Xiaofu's original soul entered. Inside the hall, there were faint flashes of light. Enormous stone pillars densely covered both sides of the passageway, and they were inscribed with sinister demonic beasts and strange talisman markings, causing one to tremble for no reason. There was the main and the big rumble. Outside the main hall, rumbling sounds could be heard continuously, causing the main hall to shake continuously. In just a few breaths, Du Xiaofu's figure had already arrived in a huge, dim hall. The hall was vast, and it stood on the peak of a towering mountain. Just like what his primordial spirit had seen earlier, Du Xiaofu immediately saw his venerable weapon master, who was bound by a weird black talisman chain on the stone pillar. On the stone pillar, the commotion outside had already alerted Xiahou Fengli, the weapon venerate. The venerable weapon's face, which was covered by his messy long hair, was solemn as he listened to the rumbling sounds of energy explosions. Xiaofu is my disciple. When Du Xiaofu's figure appeared in the hall, Xiahou Fengli, the venerable equipment master, who was tied up on the stone pillar, had flame runes dancing in the depths of his turbid and dim eyes. Joy appeared on his face, but he was also incomparably worried. His expression instantly became complicated, and a hoarse voice came out from the depths of his throat. You child, you shouldn't have come to take risks. Looking at the familiar figure of his disciple, Xiahou Fengli was happy that he had not misjudged him and had taken in a good disciple. He was even happier that his disciple had achieved so much in such a short period of time and was able to break into this place so quickly. It was enough to show how strong his disciple was. But at the same time, the weapon venerate was solemn and deeply worried. The weapon venerate knew very well how difficult it was to break into this place. With the super experts of the devil religion guarding it, it was even more difficult to break through than a dragon's pool, a tiger's den, a mountain of blades, and a sea of flames. The devil religion had kept him alive not only to obtain everything they wanted, but also to lure his disciple here. This was definitely not a good place. How can I not come when Master is suffering? I will take Master away now. When he saw the old figure, who was bound on the stone pillar and wrapped in blazing flames and arcs of lightning, with his long black hair messily draped over his shoulders, Du Xiaofu's heart could not help but tremble. His nose was sour, and he immediately rushed forward. But it was also at this moment that Du Xiaofu's figure, which had just appeared, suddenly stopped. His eyes looked at the three figures entrenched around the stone pillar. In this vast hall, the three figures were currently sitting cross-legged. Their bodies were shrouded in dense demonic aura, and they surrounded the stone pillar. Demonic aura fluctuated, and their faces were expressionless, as if they were demonized stone statues. Du Xiaofu had noticed these three figures sitting cross-legged not long ago when his Yuan spirit came here, but he did not pay much attention to them. Du Xiaofu's heart trembled as he looked at these demonized stone statues, and the corners of his eyes could not help but twitch. What caused the corners of Du Xiaofu's eyes and heart to twitch at the same time was not only the strange demonic aura around these three figures, but also the fact that although their faces were hazy, they gave Du Xiaofu a sense of familiarity. Chi. In a short moment, as Du Xiaofu approached, three pairs of eyes on the expressionless faces of the three figures, who were sitting calmly like demonized stone statues, opened at the same time. 6 streams of demonic aura shot out like pitch-black lightning. The three figures also emitted a low sound of bones rubbing against each other. The three figures stood up together, and their bodies flashed. The three figures were like 3 straight javelins, and they instantly appeared in front of Du Xiaofu. The three figures were shrouded in demonic aura, and 6 pairs of eyes were like black lightning. Their empty eyes were indifferent and filled with killing intent, and their gazes were merciless. Qi-la, the demonic aura fluctuated, and the aura was vast and intimidating. The three figures did not stop for a moment. Like black lightning, they instantly brought about a fierce and terrifying killing intent, and swept towards Du Xiaofu at the same time. The 3 streams of demonic aura and killing intent were endless, and they shattered the void. They were extremely powerful. Xiaofu, have mercy. At the same time, the voice of the weapon sovereign sounded in Du Xiaofu's ears. Chapter 2233. Du Xiaofu listened to his master, the revered weapon master's shout. Golden light surged in his hands, and as if he had flicked his sleeves, the golden light surged. Vaguely, there seemed to be a golden-winged rock crossing the void. It was overbearing and fierce, and instantly, the three figures were forced to retreat. Although the three figures were strong, they were not much of a threat to Du Xiaofu with his current cultivation. When the three figures were pushed back, they hit the stone pillars at the edge of the hall. The stone pillars that were covered with mysterious runes swayed, and the hall trembled. Du Xiaofu's gaze was also fixed on the three figures as he trembled inwardly. Although the three figures who had just attacked were filled with demonic qi, Du Xiaofu could still sense a familiar aura from them. The three figures staggered back, and the devil qi on their bodies dissipated. 6 eyes looked at Du Xiaofu, and the devil qi became more and more terrifying. His expression was cold and emotionless. At this moment, Du Xiaofu carefully looked at the three figures in front of him. Suddenly, his eyes trembled as if he was struck by lightning. At the same time, his primordial spirit rippled through the devil qi. Under the devil qi, Du Xiaofu recognized the three familiar figures. Rumble! The devil qi surged, and the hall trembled. The three figures that were pushed back just now attacked again. The three attacks intertwined, and the devil qi filled the sky. They swept towards Du Xiaofu again like lightning. Whoosh! Du Xiaofu's figure floated out from the three intertwined devil qi attacks. He turned and looked at the three figures. His voice trembled as he shouted, "Eldest senior uncle, 5th senior uncle, 7th senior uncle." How could Du Xiaofu forget these three figures that were shrouded in devil qi? They were eldest senior uncle Kuang Zun, 5th senior uncle 9 Lives Sovereign GMO, and 7th senior uncle Qian Xing, who had disappeared when the 7-star hall was destroyed. Back then, when the 7-star hall was annihilated, many elders, senior brothers, and junior brothers were killed, and blood flowed like a river. 5th Martial Uncle 9 Lives Venerable GMO helped him and little Xingxing escape with the help of his space martial vein. Du Xiaofu had never forgotten that scene, and it was still vivid in his mind. Later on, there were rumors that eldest senior uncle revered Kuang and 5th senior uncle Venerable GMO had fallen into the hands of the devil religion. Seventh senior uncle Venerable Qianxing's whereabouts were unknown and might have escaped. Du Xiaofu had been asking the Moon Shadow Hall to search for clues and information, but to no avail. He did not expect that seventh senior uncle Venerable Qianxing had also fallen into the hands of the devil religion. However, when they heard Du Xiaofu's hoarse shout, the three figures turned around, but they did not move at all. Their eyes were still empty, cold, and merciless. Xiaofu, your senior uncle and junior uncle have been controlled by the devil religion. Their primordial spirits have been corroded by the devil qi, and they have lost their sense of self, Xiahou Fenglei said with a solemn and angry expression. He knew the consequences of devil qi corroding the primordial spirits. Rumble. In an instant, the three figures pounced again. Deep in their empty eyes, a blood-red color appeared. Their aura rose to the peak as they activated three martial veins. In the vast hall, three streams of devil qi were connected invisibly. The combined attack of the three was probably enough to deal with a half-saint. Du Xiaofu frowned slightly, but it was not because of the power of his eldest senior uncle and the other two. Even if they were true Sage Realm experts, Du Xiaofu would not be too concerned about them, let alone these three that could only contend against half-saints. Du Xiaofu frowned. He was worried that his eldest senior uncle and the other two's primordial spirits had been corroded by the devil qi, and he was unable to harm them. He was even more worried that his senior uncle and the other two's primordial spirits had been corroded by the devil qi, and the consequences would be too severe. Rumble. The three attacks shook the hall and instantly engulfed Du Xiaofu. The power of the three martial veins was vast and mighty, especially Ji Mo's space martial vein, which was able to affect space differently. When the attacks arrived in front of him, the golden light in Du Xiaofu's eyes rippled. In an instant, a golden light shone from his body, and a vast and domineering aura spread out, causing the surrounding space to tremble violently. Screech! The golden light exploded like the sun, and the cry of a rock that could pierce through clouds and shatter stone resounded. Amidst the golden light, golden runes and mysterious runes appeared, and it looked as though the phantom of a golden-winged rock was flapping its wings as it soared into the sky. The power of the attack instantly destroyed the devil qi and suppressed Kuang Zun, 9 Lives Sage, and Sage Qianxing. Du Xiaofu forcibly suppressed the three of them with brute force. Senior uncles and senior uncles, this disciple is sorry. At the same time, Du Xiaofu lightly shouted and formed a seal with his hands. A silver-gold light rippled from his forehead, and three resplendent silver-gold lights with arcs of electricity instantly shot into the three's foreheads. As the three silver-gold lights entered their bodies, the three's emotionless eyes suddenly closed, and the devil qi around their bodies seemed to have been dispelled. In the short span of 2 breaths, the 3 pairs of eyes that had been tightly closed opened again. Although there was a sense of loss in the depths of their emotionless eyes, they began to show signs of emotion. When they saw Du Xiaofu in front of them, the 6 pairs of eyes simultaneously changed in surprise and disbelief. Xiaofu, Kuang Zun, 9 Lives Sage, Gmo Mingchen, and Sage Qianxing were very surprised. Xiaofu, watch out! At this moment, the weapon sovereign Xiahou Fenglei's urgent shout rang out once again. Demonic qi silently gushed out from the hall as a giant pitch-black hand smashed through space like a bolt of black lightning, instantly appearing behind Du Xiaofu. Humph! Du Xiaofu had already felt the movement behind him. His face darkened. He turned around at lightning speed and waved his right arm. A domineering aura swept out in an instant. He punched at the huge demon qi handprint. Boom! Golden light exploded, and the sound of dragons and elephants trumpeting reverberated throughout the hall. The muffled sound was like thunder. The two instantly collided, and the golden light and devil qi rolled back at the same time, leaving behind many pitch-black spatial cracks in the hall. Kuang Zun, 9 Lives Sage, and Sage Qianxing, who had just recovered some of their senses, trembled and staggered back. Pung pung ping. The power was too terrifying, and the hall shook violently. Even with the strange reinforcement force, it finally couldn't withstand the huge impact and began to crack before exploding with a rumbling sound. Rumble! Along with the collapse of the mountain, huge rocks rolled down, and energy blasted out in all directions. However, the stone pillar imprisoning weapon sovereign Xiahou Feng Lei was as stable as a rock and didn't shatter. The strange black talisman runes were still running through Xiahou Feng Lei's forehead like a devil chain, and energy rippled, surrounded by blazing flames and lightning. The stone pillars stood at the peak of the mountain, and the vast hall around it collapsed into ruins, but it was still intact. Chapter 2234. Fourth Brother. Wild Venerable, 9 Lives Venerable, and Venerable Qian Xing instantly retreated to weapon Venerable Xiahou Feng Lei's side. They were helpless in the face of the strange black demonic chain that bound weapon Venerable Xiahou Feng. Qi. The hall collapsed, and a figure was pushed back in a straight line, crashing into many falling boulders. Then, a figure was revealed, with blood at the corner of his mouth and a shocked expression on his face. The one who was injured was an old man in his 50s. His black robe fluttered in the wind, and his long yellow hair was filled with black demonic qi. The old man's wide forehead was frowning, and there was a mysterious mark on his forehead that was eye-catching, like a skull imprinted with gold leaf, emitting a frightening and strange cold light. Whoosh whoosh. At the same time, 4 figures landed in front of the old man. They had different expressions, but they were all wrapped in demonic qi, and their auras were frightening. The first was a short-haired middle-aged man with lightning shuttling around him. His eyes were like lightning, making one's soul tremble. 5 demon envoys. Yes. Du Xiaofu pushed back the former. The hall shook and cracked, and the mountain collapsed, but his figure did not move. He looked at the old man who had just launched a sneak attack. How could Du Xiaofu not recognize him? He had fought one of the 5 demon envoys of the devil religion, the Earth Demon Envoy. The short-haired middle-aged man was the Thunder Demon Envoy. It was not the first time Du Xiaofu had seen the other 3. They were the Wind Demon Envoy, the Fire Demon Envoy, and the Ice Demon Envoy of the devil religion. The 5 demon envoys were all gathered here. Looking at the 5 demon envoys in front of him, Du Xiaofu secretly raised his eyebrows. Back in the heavenly devil battlefield, Du Xiaofu had fought with the Earth Demon Envoy. The 5 demon envoys were about the same in terms of strength and cultivation. But judging from the situation just now, it was not difficult for Du Xiaofu to know that the Earth Demon Envoy's strength had once again soared. Although he had not yet set foot into the true Saint Realm, he was not far from it. He had already taken 1 step into the Saint Realm. This kind of progress was too astonishing, and it was likely related to the demon god's complete escape. Rumble, a woo. Bang bang bang, the main hall was shattered. Demonic qi overflowed from all directions. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Ghosts wept and gods howled. The muffled sound of energy exploded like thunder. The battle between Master Flames Park and 9 Demon Emperor was especially shocking. It was as if the end of the world had arrived, and revered Kuang, revered 9 Lives, and revered Qian Xing were completely flabbergasted. Xiahou Feng, Crazy Venerable, 9 Lives Venerable, and Qian Xing Venerable, who couldn't approach the stone pillars, stood in front of the stone pillars and watched the shocking scene in the sky. Just the aura alone was enough to make them unable to resist. Xiaofu, be careful. The demonic qi of the 5 figures soared to the sky. 5 terrifying demonic qi soared to the sky, making Crazy Venerable, 9 Lives Venerable, and Qian Xing Venerable look serious. However, the 3 of them were also secretly shocked. Du Xiaofu was able to push back one of them just now. It hadn't been long since Du Xiaofu's strength had reached such a terrifying level. The revered weapon was bound, and his body was covered in raging lightning and flames. He looked at the 5 demon envoys in front of Du Xiaofu and secretly narrowed his eyes. We meet again. Today, you won't be able to escape even if you have wings. The Earth Demon Envoy, who had just stabilized his body, stared at Du Xiaofu. The demonic qi on his body surged, and his figure gradually became clear. His eyes emitted a terrifying cold light. Du Xiaofu looked at the Earth Demon Envoy, the Fire Demon Envoy, the Ice Demon Envoy, the Wind Demon Envoy, and the Thunder Demon Envoy in front of him. He felt that the Earth Demon Envoy's aura had increased a lot, and the other 4 demon envoys' aura had also increased a lot. They were all one step away from entering the Saint Realm. 5 demon envoys, today will be the interest of the interest. Let's settle this together. Du Xiaofu shouted coldly. As his voice spread out, the golden light on his body suddenly skyrocketed. Although the aura of the 5 demon envoys had skyrocketed a lot and they were already one step away from entering the Saint Realm, Du Xiaofu's strength had also increased by leaps and bounds. He wasn't even afraid of a Saint Realm expert, let alone 5 demon envoys who hadn't really entered the Saint Realm. I know that you've broken through to the Saint Realm. Hearing Du Xiaofu's words, the Earth demon envoy's face turned completely gloomy. His chest heaved up and down as he slightly raised his head to look at Du Xiaofu. His eyes gradually surged with ruthlessness, accompanied by a monstrous demon chi that swept out like a storm. He said, "But you still won't be able to take anyone away today. You won't be able to escape even if you have wings." The gloomy voice reverberated in the void. As soon as the Earth demon envoy's voice fell, wind and clouds surged in the void, accompanied by rolling dark clouds. In an instant, a monstrous demon chi filled the sky, accompanied by flashes of lightning and roars of thunder. Rumble. At the same time, the Thunder Demon Envoy, the Wind Demon Envoy, the Fire Demon Envoy, and the Ice Demon Envoy moved at the same time, vaguely connecting with the 5 demon envoys. Following that, the demon chi surged, and the void around the 5 demon envoys seemed to have been torn apart. The heaven and earth began to tremble violently. Let's end this quickly and get rid of this brat as soon as possible. The Thunder Demon Envoy arrived in front of them, his voice like thunder as strange black lightning flashed. As soon as the Thunder Demon Envoy's voice rang out, the 5 demon envoys formed hand seals. The surrounding space began to rumble, and the energy in the area began to gather towards the 5 figures. Something strange. When this happened, the 9 lives Venerable, Mad Venerable, and Venerable Qianxing's bodies suddenly trembled. Their eyes were fixed on the 5 demon envoys in the sky. As the 5 demon envoys formed hand seals, a strange invisible energy permeated the area. The demon chi surged endlessly, as if it could devour a person's Xian chi and Yuan spirit. It made one's heart beat faster for no reason, as if it was constantly being hit by an invisible force, as if it was about to explode. This terrifying feeling caused Venerable Qianxing, Mad Venerable, and 9 lives Venerable to turn pale. Their hairs stood on end, and fear and palpitations climbed up from the depths of their Yuan spirits. Woo-woo, everything happened very quickly. As the 5 demon envoys rapidly formed hand seals, their eyes flickered with black demonic light. They actually let out ghostly cries from their throats. The 5 demon envoys moved together, and the 5 of them stood separately. They were faintly connected in the air, like a strange formation. The demon chi fluctuated like a wave. Waves of strange energy seeped out of the void, and in an instant, it flowed endlessly into the 5 demon envoys' bodies, and then all of them connected. Rumble. At that moment, Du Xiaofu watched in surprise as the demon chi on the 5 demon envoys turned as black as ink. Terrifying black talisman runes rippled, spreading across the sky. At the same time, the 5 demon envoys' auras rose in a strange straight line. In a short time, they had crossed the heavenly moat of the Saint Realm. Chapter 2235. Brat, even though you've broken through to the Saint Realm, you still can't escape from us. Demonic Envoy Laimo opened his mouth, and the ink-like demonic chi around him started to cover the sky as he spoke. Black fog surged up into the sky, and blood light and lightning flashed out from his eyes. They were like 2 blood moon lightning balls, and they were exceptionally terrifying in the midst of the black fog. Lei Mo Envoy and the other 4 were many times stronger than before. Honorable Equipment, Honorable 9 Lives, Honorable Kuang, and Honorable Qianxing's faces were extremely solemn. Du Xiaofu raised his eyebrows. He was also quite shocked at this moment. He didn't expect the 5 demon envoys to have such a strange technique. No wonder they were so fearless. This strange method was actually able to allow the 5 demon envoys to step into the powerful Saint Realm. It was truly astonishing. This is getting interesting. Then Du Xiaofu sneered. It wasn't impossible to deal with 5 Saint Realm initial stage experts. Hearing Du Xiaofu's words, Lei Mo Envoy, Earth Mo Envoy, and the others were furious. Demonic chi surged, filling the void. Brat, no one can save you today. Kill! As soon as his voice fell, Earth Mo Envoy emitted a monstrous killing intent. Demonic clouds rolled around his body, and the void trembled. A sharp claw mark rapidly expanded in the void, as if it wanted to crush the sky. It tore 5 abyss-like black spatial cracks, drowning everything in its path. He took the initiative to attack Du Xiaofu. As his power increased, Earth Mo Envoy's attack was terrifying. Even Honorable Kuang and the others felt uneasy from afar. With such a claw mark in the air, its power was many times stronger than before. Du Xiaofu's brows raised slightly, and he didn't waste any more words. He raised his head, and instead of retreating, he moved forward. A purple flame fingerprint flashed out, and dazzling runes flashed out, and a terrifying blazing heat suddenly swept out. The purple flame burned the demonic chi. Accompanied by the purple flame demonic phoenix's supreme beast aura, it instantly destroyed Earth Mo Envoy's claw mark. Dang dang! As the claw print pierced through the void, Earth Demon Envoy's body was forced back again, and although his situation was much better than before, he was still in a difficult situation. Let's attack together and end this quickly. The Thunder Devil Envoy's face was grim and cold. His voice was filled with chilling intent as his demonic chi rippled. He knew that this Du Xiaofu before him was extremely strong. He was extremely perverted and had even managed to escape from the hands of the demonic god previously. Therefore, he did not dare to be careless. Set up the formation. Old Demon Envoy had been beaten twice, a fierce light flashing in his eyes as a monstrous demonic chi burst out from his body like a storm. His fist was not affected at all, and he directly punched out, slamming into the demonic shadow exotic beast. A terrifying and domineering aura swept out in an instant. Rumble, a muffled sound like thunder. Lightning flashed and thunder roared, shattering the void. Demonic aura and golden light intertwined. Although it was not a direct hit from Du Xiaofu's punch, a muffled groan was emitted from the demon envoy's throat as he was forced back in the void. The demonic thunder envoy only managed to stabilize his body after he was dozens of feet away. He looked at Du Xiaofu with a shocked expression. At this moment, he had the strength of an initial sage stage expert. However, he was unable to withstand a single blow from the other party. This brat is very strange. Don't hold back anymore. Suppress him with all your might. The Wind Demon Envoy, Fire Demon Envoy and Ice Demon Envoy's faces darkened. Suppress him with all your might. The Earth Demon Envoy and the Demon Envoy stepped forward once again. Rumble, 5 monstrous energy fluctuations surged. At this moment, the auras of the 5 demon envoys had reached their peak. As demonic aura surged, waves of violent demonic aura, lightning, earth, wind, fire and ice energy swept out from the 5 of them like a storm, causing half of the sky to scatter. At this moment, the demonic aura spread across the sky and filled the vast sky. At this moment, the killing intent of the 5 demon envoys soared to the heavens. Their 5 auras had reached their peak. 5 pairs of terrifying blood-red eyes and pitch-black demonic aura was like rolling dark clouds that covered thousands of miles. It was frightening and caused one's hair to stand on end. With just the 5 of you? I'll kill you all today. Du Xiaofu raised his head and laughed like thunder. Golden light surged from his body and a strange golden light soared into the sky behind him. Chapter 2236. Golden light shot up into the sky, forming feather-like fragments on Du Xiaofu's body, forming a golden armor that covered his entire body. Golden light filled the sky, and the golden feathers on the armor resembled those of a golden-winged rock. Layer upon layer, they emerged from Du Xiaofu's body, forming a magnificent golden armor. The cries of the golden-winged rock pierced through the clouds and cracked rocks, and a domineering aura swept through the void. At the same time, golden light erupted from Du Xiaofu's back, shining brightly. A pair of golden-winged rock wings appeared behind Du Xiaofu's back, and his aura soared to the heavens, connecting with his flesh and bones. Boom! Boom! The blue spirit armor and golden-winged rock wings appeared, and the heavens trembled as golden light filled the sky. At this moment, Du Xiaofu seemed to have transformed into a true golden rock, and he intended to soar into the sky and soar through the sky. This kind of aura and magnificence shocked Kuang Zun and the others. Feeling the terrifying aura erupting from Du Xiaofu's body, Kuang Zun and the others felt their hearts tremble violently. No wonder that Brat didn't care about the 5 super experts of the devil religion. It turned out that he had reached such a terrifying level. Brat, it's useless. Sensing Du Xiaofu's aura, Lei Emoji's eyes narrowed, but then his face twitched, and lightning flashed and thunder rumbled around him. Now that the 5 of them had joined forces, how could they be intimidated by a brat? Let's finish this quickly. Lei Emoji sneered. His hands trembled in his sleeves, and demonic chi fluctuated. His strange claws were like ghostly sharp swords, slightly curved, and a terrifying power gathered, tearing through the void. Hearing this, Wind Emoji, Fire Emoji, and Ice Emoji nodded with gloomy faces. Demonic chi surged wildly, forming a defense around their bodies, and causing the void to rumble. Devil Spirit Void Swallowing. In the blink of an eye, the Earth Demon Envoy was the first to make a move. Forming a series of hand seals, demon chi, accompanied by profound spirit energy, instantly condensed into a strange beast that was over 100 feet tall. It opened its ferocious mouth, and a monstrous demon chi gushed out, trying to swallow Du Xiaofu. Demonic Sky-Burning Devil Flame. 10,000 Miles Ice Devil. Demonic Wind Hell. Devil Thunder Explosion. In an instant, the Thunder Devil Envoy and the others moved together. In an instant, the 5 Devil Envoys unleashed 5 different attacks. The 5 Demon Envoys attacked with all their strength. A terrifying energy violently surged out from their bodies. Demonic chi surged as the 5 attacks enveloped the sky. A huge vacuum was formed in the sky, shattering the space and shaking the heavens. The 5 of them attacked at this moment. Their heads and tails were connected, and their teamwork was incomparable. Be careful! Despite sensing Du Xiaofu's powerful aura, Mad Sovereign's group was still on tenterhooks for Du Xiaofu's sake after seeing the 5 attacks from afar. Just the pervasive aura alone was enough to make them unable to resist. It made their hair stand on end. The space trembled violently. The 5 demon envoys did not hold back in their attacks. They sealed off all of Du Xiaofu's escape routes and distorted space. Moreover, the 5 of them attacked with killing moves. They did not intend to give Du Xiaofu any chance to escape. They wanted to completely suppress Du Xiaofu in one fell swoop. Du Xiaofu's eyes quickly swept across the 5 attacks. Facing the 5 demon envoys' all-out attacks, he did not show any signs of panic. The golden peng wings on his back flapped, overflowing with flowing light. Majestic light filled the air, like a peng spreading its wings, soaring to the 9 heavens. Peng descends to the 9 heavens. Boom! Du Xiaofu shouted, carrying the domineering will of the golden-winged Peng clan. It was powerful and domineering. At this moment, Du Xiaofu was like a real Peng descending. His domineering and terrifying aura overflowed the sky. He flapped his wings and swept across the sky. His domineering and sharp aura swept across the sky. At that moment, the 2 sides collided with each other amidst a rumbling sound. Rumble! Rumble! The void rumbled like thunder, bursting with a series of runes. Demonic chi filled the sky. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled endlessly. The runes shot out like gorgeous fireworks, causing the entire sky to be filled with resplendent light. Behind the resplendent light, there was a shocking destructive aura that caused the surrounding heavens and earth to tremble. Chi-la-la! Chi! The stalemate did not last long. After the violent collision in the sky, the sound of something shattering could be heard. The space was crumbling. Under the trembling eyes of Kuang Zun and the others, the 5 demon envoys' attacks did not last long before they were destroyed like a hot knife through butter. The 5 of them together did not gain any advantage. The expressions of the 5 demon envoys changed drastically. 5-wheel blood demon realm. Thunder demon envoy shouted, his hand seals changing rapidly. At the same time, earth demon envoy, wind demon envoy, and the other demon envoys changed their hand seals at the same time. An even more terrifying and bizarre demonic chi swept out from their bodies like a storm. Finally, it condensed together and shot into the sky. Billowing demonic chi spread out, causing the void to tremble. Pillars of black and blood-red light that looked like they were condensed from fresh blood filled the air with a chilling aura. They covered the sky and covered the earth. Rumble. In a short time, the entire void seemed to have turned into the entrance of a demonic realm. Black and blood-red demonic chi surged, appearing from the depths of the sky. It was vast and boundless, as if it had turned into a huge void passage filled with demonic chi. The 5-wheel blood demon realm was the trump card of the 5 demon envoys. Sensing Du Xiaofu's power, the 5 demon envoys did not dare to be careless and used their trump cards. Rumble! Rumble! The void rumbled. Pillars of blood-red light shot out from the monstrous demonic chi, bringing with them deep blood-red cracks that hung in the sky. The nauseating demonic chi poured out, accompanied by the shrill cries of ghosts and gods, and rushed towards Du Xiaofu like lightning. Such destructive power was enough to make an ordinary middle-stage Saint Realm cultivator retreat. It's just a forced increase in strength. Even if you're an early-stage Saint Realm cultivator, I wouldn't put you in my eyes. You're nothing. In the face of such a monstrous attack, Du Xiaofu's expression was calm. His golden eyes were deep, calm, and fearless. He was confident and domineering. Kuang Zun and the others were shocked. This guy was really arrogant enough to be so domineering in the face of such an attack. The terrifying attack destroyed the void and swept towards Du Xiaofu. The void collapsed, the demonic chi filled the sky, and the firmament shook. Du Xiaofu stood in the void, unmoving like a mountain, like a boulder, but his hand seals were already forming. Silently, with Du Xiaofu as the center, the void around him began to distort. A strange pattern appeared in the void, enveloping it. It was the void 8 trigrams diagram. In an instant, with Du Xiaofu as the center, the void 8 trigrams diagram swept out like a divine ring, filled with dazzling light and surging with all kinds of strange phenomena. Kuang Zun, 9 Lives Saint, and the others could not help but look up in shock. From the 9 heavens, a dazzling light descended like a sun, illuminating the dark space. Chapter 2237. An extremely vast aura emanated from the void and spread out in all directions. It was like a holy light. Endless foreign aura spread out, causing people's souls to tremble. Around Du Xiaofu, a materialized void diagram of the 8 trigrams was completely formed. It appeared on the surface of the void, with wind, rain, thunder, lightning, mountains, rivers, and the sun, the moon, and stars rotating and alternating with each other. Countless beasts jumped out of the 8 trigrams void diagram, roaring silently. A bright galaxy appeared, dazzling with starlight and a vast aura. A golden-winged rock appeared above the 8 trigrams void diagram, flapping its wings and shaking the sky as if it could shatter the stars. A bright purple flame whistled and condensed into a purple flame demonic phoenix. It was like a living creature, blazing with heat. There was also a stalk of immortal grass and a stalk of nether grass, emitting a monstrous green light, full of vitality and an ancient aura. At this moment, the sky trembled and the void rumbled. Boom! A vast aura swept across the place like a storm. In an instant, Mad revered, 9 Lives venerable, and the others went limp under this silent pressure. Their eyes were filled with shock, and they wanted to worship and revere from the depths of their souls. Bang, 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 bang. In an instant, the 5 demonic blood realms formed by the 5 demonic envoys began to shatter, exploding from the deep void vortex. Demonic chi swept out with a trembling energy, turning a large area of the void into a vacuum. Boom! At this moment, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Ghosts cried and gods howled, as if doomsday had arrived. Du Xiaofu stood in the middle of the 8 trigrams void diagram, like a miracle. With Du Xiaofu as the center, The 8 trigrams void diagram swept out like a divine ring, emitting a bright light and surging with all kinds of strange phenomena. The 5 demonic envoys used all their strength, but no matter how much they used, they couldn't resist the power of the 8 trigrams void diagram. The 5 demonic blood realms shattered inch by inch, vast and mighty. At the same time, the 5 demon envoys spat out mouthfuls of blood, suffering heavy injuries. The 5 demon envoys were horrified. Only now did they realize just how tyrannical the former was, and why that demon king had the name of Demon King. Retreat! Retreat! Lay Mo envoy shouted, and the 5 of them changed their hand seals. They wanted to retreat with all their might and break free from the 8 trigrams. But at this moment, the surrounding space was distorted, and a vast might could directly suppress the 5 demon envoys. You want to retreat now? Isn't it too late? Du Xiaofu's voice rang out. His hand seals formed, and the void suddenly changed. Suddenly, a star of lightning and rolling flames descended. As the world resonated, an incomparably vast and mighty strength surged out from the sea of resplendent runes, creating raging waves that swept towards the 5 demon envoys. Pew! At this moment, the 5 demon envoys, whose strength was not inferior to the initial Saint Realm, had their demonic chi shattered inch by inch under this terrifying might. The light dimmed, and the 5 of them spurted out blood once again. Their bodies crumbled, and blood flowed out from their bodies. With the 8 trigrams diagram rippling around him, Du Xiaofu was like a god in the sky. Using the 8 trigrams diagram, Du Xiaofu had no intention of letting the 5 demon envoys go. He activated the 8 trigrams diagram, sealing the void and confining the 4 directions. Using the 8 trigrams profound to step into the Saint Realm, this was Du Xiaofu's full strength. Legalism's initial Saint Realm old ancestor had also lost his body to the 8 trigrams profound. Lay Mo envoy, Earth Mo envoy, and the others spurted out blood and retreated. Their terrifying eyes were looking at Du Xiaofu, and their eyes were trembling. A chill crept up from the depths of their souls. The 5 demon envoys were afraid at this moment, and their eyes were filled with horror. Under this terrifying might, their souls were trembling. There was a huge difference between this Saint Aura and an ordinary Saint Realm cultivator. This Saint Aura was something they couldn't resist. The Earth Devil Envoy transformed into an ancient devil ape, while the Thunder Devil Envoy transformed into a strange lightning devil beast. Their terrifying auras were accompanied by flashes of lightning and rumbling of thunder. Compared to the Earth Devil Envoy's ancient devil ape form, they were in no way inferior. Wind Mo Envoy, Fire Mo Envoy, Ice Mo Envoy, and the others gathered their demonic chi again, and they turned into huge figures. Demonic chi surged violently, and it was extremely terrifying. Du Xiaofu raised his arm, and with a wave of his hand, a gigantic sword appeared in his hand. It was like the bones of a tiger, the body of a dragon, the body of a phoenix, and the body of a divine turtle. When the sword appeared, a dazzling light erupted like an erupting volcano. Dazzling talisman runes soared into the sky. This was clearly the sound of wind and thunder, but it was like the roar of a demon god, causing one's soul to tremble uncontrollably. The sky was filled with purplish golden light. The purplish golden heavenly tower, the god of weapons, was peerless in the sky, as if it wanted to spread its wings and soar into the sky. That's the purplish golden heavenly tower. Mad Honorable, 9 Lives Honorable, and the others trembled. They recognized the purplish golden heavenly tower. At this moment, the pressure from the purplish golden heavenly tower was much stronger than before. It was far stronger than an ordinary divine weapon. He originally thought that the 5 demon envoys would be enough to deal with Du Xiaofu, or at least delay for some time. However, he didn't expect that Du Xiaofu would be so powerful. The Earth Demon Envoy and Thunder Demon Envoy were killed, and he didn't even have the chance to react. Boom! Demonic chi shook the sky, and 9 Demon Emperor erupted, wanting to affect Du Xiaofu and help the remaining 3 demon envoys. "You better behave yourself," said Master Hualei. The sky was filled with crimson blue flames and lightning. It was like a world of lightning and fire. The 9-demon emperor was unable to break free. Du Xiaofu didn't stop there. The 8 trigrams, quintessence suppressed the wind demon envoy, the ice demon envoy, and the fire demon envoy. The purple great Peng's golden wings flew across the sky, and the purple golden heavenly tower was like the awakening of a peerless demon god. In just a short period of time, under the terrified gazes of the 3 demon envoys, Du Xiaofu raised his sword and killed them. The 5 demon envoys were experts second only to the 9 demon emperors. When the 5 of them joined forces, they were comparable to 5 early-stage Saint Realm experts. But in a short period of time, they were completely killed. Gugu, Kuang Zun, 9 Lives Saint, and Qian Xing Saint were so shocked that their jaws dropped. They were dumbfounded, and their throats were boiling hot. 5 experts of the devil religion, equivalent to legendary Saint Realm experts, were killed by Du Xiaofu in a short period of time. How could they not be shocked? Kuang Zun and the others had cultivated for a very long time, and their talents were also extraordinary. They knew how difficult it was to reach the level of the 5 experts of the devil religion. They were super experts of the devil religion, and had experienced countless trials of blood and fire. They were great figures of the devil religion. But Du Xiaofu had killed them without too much difficulty, and without paying too much of a price. He had directly killed them, domineering and fierce. They couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. At the same time, Kuang Zun and the others were overjoyed. This was a disciple of the 7-star Hall. If the 7-star Hall didn't perish, they would have a successor. They would rise again, like the sun, and rise to glory. The purple gold heavenly tower was retracted, and the 8 trigrams diagram disappeared. Du Xiaofu stood in the void, clad in a peerless Saint Realm armor. Boundless Saint Realm aura surged, transcendent and domineering. Master Flames, you've thoroughly angered me. Seeing the 5 demon envoys being killed without being able to do anything, the 9 demon emperors were enraged. They madly attacked Master Flames Park. Well, bite me if you have the ability. Master Flames Park said indifferently, as if he didn't care at all. Greetings, martial uncles and martial uncles. Du Xiaofu arrived in front of the stone pillar and bowed to Kuang Zun and the others. Child, are you all right? Kuang Zun was still in a state of shock. He carefully sized up Du Xiaofu, finding it hard to believe that Du Xiaofu could kill the 5 experts of the devil religion and still be completely unharmed. Disciple is fine, Du Xiaofu said, but his eyes were fixed on the stone pillar. The mysterious chains of black talismans were binding his master, Xiahou Feng. They weren't simple at all, and were very strange. Chapter 2238. Child, your master is being restrained. This thing is very strange. 9 Lives Supremacy GMO said to Du Xiaofu. They were unable to remove the strange black talisman chain on the stone pillar, and they couldn't even get too close to it. Du Xiaofu narrowed his eyes. This stone pillar was very strange. The entire Devil Sovereign Palace had collapsed, but this stone pillar was still as unshakable as a boulder. The chain formed by the black talisman chain was filled with a terrifying destructive power, and it was connected to Supremacy Xiahou Feng Lei's forehead. Du Xiaofu narrowed his eyes. If he touched this strange black talisman chain, not only would he suffer a backlash, it might even cause his master, the weapon Supremacy, to die. But soon, Du Xiaofu noticed something. This strange black talisman chain was fluctuating with a strange energy. While it was restraining his master, it was also continuously surging into his master's mind. Huff! Du Xiaofu took a deep breath. Things were different now. Now that he noticed something, he had a rough idea of how to deal with it. Sizzle! Du Xiaofu condensed his handprint, and a silver-golden electric arc swept out from between his eyebrows. It instantly turned into a wisp of silver-golden rainbow, and instantly covered the black talisman chain on the stone pillar. Sizzle! In an instant, when the silver-gold electric arc came into contact with the black talisman chain, it was like a rising flame. A sizzling sound was heard, and a turbulent devil chi instantly swept out. However, when this devil chi came into contact with the silver-gold electric arc, it was as if it was naturally restrained. A white mist rose and then disappeared as if it was burned. Sizzle! The black talisman chain began to wither and spread to the spot between the eyebrows of the revered weapon. Du Xiaofu's handprint condensed again, and a silver-gold electric arc swept out from between his eyebrows and turned into a saber light, directly cutting off the chain. Crack! The strange stone pillar started to crack, and the surrounding rocks shattered. A large amount of devil chi violently surged out from the ground. Let's go! Du Xiaofu flapped his golden rock wings and retreated with Honorable Refiner, and the others. At the same time, he punched out with his fist. Dazzling golden light shook the void, and the stone pillar was completely destroyed in a rumbling sound. The venerable weapon was freed and stood in the void. The blazing flame and electric arcs on his body disappeared. His hair was messy, and there were some lightning flames in his eyes. Looking at the master in front of him, after being imprisoned here for so many years, his face was filled with vicissitudes. Back then, he was domineering and valiant, dominating the Central Plains, but now, his temperament was filled with sorrow. It was unknown how much torture he had suffered. It was as if a divine dragon was in the sky, releasing an inextinguishable radiance. Then, the strange dragon's body disappeared, and it turned into a little girl about 10 years old. On her tender face, there was a faint golden brilliance in the depths of her demonic eyes. Her aura was overbearing, and her might shook the sky. Roar! The wind rose and the clouds surged. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Heaven and earth trembled, and the earth rumbled. A strange phenomenon appeared in the sky. A giant golden redbone horseape with a sparkling and translucent body stepped into the void. It was as if it had merged with heaven and earth, and it gave people the feeling that it was the beginning of heaven and earth. The redbone horseape roared into the sky, and its innate spiritual eyes looked down on everything. Its terrifying aura exploded, as if it could sweep across all directions and suppress everything. Then, it turned into a young man in golden robes. His facial features were sharp and handsome, and his golden hair was draped over his shoulders. He was thin and tall, and his eyebrows were thick like swords. Roar! A dazzling radiance exploded and drowned the void. A giant green light sky-shattering fox appeared, and its aura swept across the void. It looked as if it was about to pounce. Its giant tail was raised high, and its pair of terrifying green and yellow eyes were terrifying. Its bloody mouth revealed a row of sharp fangs, and the sound it made was like the cries of ghosts and the howls of gods. Such a shocking demonic fox then turned into a wretched old man, but his aura was so strong that it affected the void. Rumble! Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, Purple lightning soared into the sky, and the punishment of the 9 heavens. The dazzling purple lightning spread across the sky, engulfing the heavens and the earth. 2 figures stood in the void, and purplish golden lightning covered them. The killing aura spread out, and although it did not carry any killing intent, it showed the majesty of creation. It showed the righteousness of heaven and earth, and it was vast and mighty, punishing the common people. Following that, a tall figure stood in the sky, and the dazzling lightning armor was filled with lightning. There was a misty aura lingering around it, and it held a lightning spear in its hand. His hair fluttered, and the sound of dragons and snakes could be faintly heard. A beautiful woman stood beside him, and her dress fluttered in the wind. Lightning flashed, and her long black hair fluttered behind her head. She was as otherworldly as a fairy, and she looked down on the world. Rumble, pung 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 ping. The 5 of them stood in the sky, and the world below was constantly crumbling. Demonic aura filled the sky, and the universe exploded. Dark cracks hung in the void like an abyss, and the earth was torn apart, and the abyss shifted. It made the 5 of them look like a miracle. Rumble. This collision rumbled through the 9 heavens, and layers of energy ripples spread out, obliterating everything. The night was coming to an end. The towering forest in the Savage Beast Mountain range looked toward the east, as if it was waiting for the first light of dawn. Dawn quietly covered the night, and a gray ray of light passed through the hazy brown sky, smearing the gloomy shadow with a layer of faint white fog. The sky gradually brightened. Inside the Stone City, the sound of people practicing martial arts could be heard everywhere. The Stone City valued martial arts, and men and women began practicing martial arts and forging at a young age. On the streets, groups of 2s and 3s gradually appeared. The merchants who had woken up early were already preparing for a busy day. The imperial palace was quiet, and under the morning light, there was a golden afterglow. In the depths of the imperial palace, the grass of immortality and nether insight grass were suffused with brilliance, spreading out rich energy that benefited the entire Stone City. Crackle! Suddenly, the void above the Stone City's imperial palace was torn open. Swoosh, swoosh! Several figures rushed out from the crack, and their auras spread out, shaking the Stone City in the early morning. These figures were naturally Du Xiaofu, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, and the others who had returned from the Demon King's palace. Du Xiaofu spread his golden wings and placed his master, venerable weapon, and senior uncles, Kuang Zun, and the others in the void. Boom! Suddenly, Kuang Zun, 9 lives venerable, and Qian Xing's eyes rippled with demonic qi again, and a blood-red color began to surge out from the depths of their eyes. Your first martial uncle, 5th martial uncle, and 7th martial uncle are affected by the demonic qi. Venerable Weapon's eyes narrowed. That 9 demon emperor is chasing us. Du Xiaoyao looked into the depths of the void. That 9 demon emperor had chased them all the way to the Stone City, and it seemed that he would not give up. Rock Emperor! Big brother! Whoosh whoosh! Inside the imperial palace, several figures rushed out like lightning. Mo Tianxiao, Du Yunlong, Zhen Qingchun Yilao, Du Xiaoman, Dongfang Qingmu, Han Aodong, and Du Xiaoqing soared into the sky. Martial uncles, I'm sorry. Du Xiaofu formed a hand seal, and a dazzling silver-gold lightning bolt shot out from his forehead. It split into 3 and entered Kuang Zun, 9 lives venerable, and Qian Xing's foreheads in an instant. Kuang Zun and the others had just been affected by the demonic qi, and their eyes immediately closed as if they had lost consciousness. Brother Qingchun Yilao, Little Tiger, put my martial uncles into the dark seeker grass, use it to cleanse and suppress the demonic qi. Du Xiaofu said, and handed Kuang Zun, 9 lives venerable, and Qian Xing to Zhen Qingchun, Little Tiger, and Yilao. Zhen Qingchun, Yilao, and Little Tiger looked at Du Xiaofu's expression and realized the seriousness of the matter. They nodded and took Kuang Zun and the others and immediately left. Phew! Du Xiaofu took a deep breath and looked into the depths of the void. The golden wings on his back flapped, and the azure armor on his body rippled with lightning. The 9 demon emperors' pursuit couldn't escape Du Xiaofu's sharp senses. The 9 demon emperors didn't give up and chased all the way to Stone City. Everyone, retreat to the imperial palace. Du Xiaofu ordered his mother, Du Yunlong, Mo Tianxiao, Yi Piaoling, Gui Che, and the others to retreat to the imperial palace. A strong enemy is attacking. Citizens of Stone City, retreat. At the same time, Du Xiaofu's voice echoed throughout Stone City, landing in the ears of millions of citizens. It's the Rock Emperor. Another strong enemy is attacking our Stone City. Everyone be careful. Who cares who it is? We will advance or retreat with the Rock Emperor. In an instant, the entire Stone City shook. Figures rushed out, and the Bai and Yi families moved together. Countless people rushed out from the streets. The citizens of Stone City didn't retreat, but instead advanced. They had seen Stone City in trouble too many times and had never retreated. Who dares to invade our desolate country? North vanquishing king, South vanquishing king, and the other old kings walked out. Their figures were much stronger than before, and their strength had improved a lot over the years. Little bastard, do you think you can escape? Suddenly, the sky trembled, and such a voice came from the depths of the void. A pitch-black spatial crack tore open, and a monstrous hair that made the heavens and earth tremble erupted from within. A black figure stepped out from the spatial crack, and then appeared in the void above Stone City, appearing in the eyes of the entire Stone City. This figure was accompanied by a terrifying demonic aura that swept out, causing the billions of people in Stone City to tremble in fear. The weaker ones trembled and knelt on the ground, unable to resist. Chapter 2240. Boom! At the same time, the entire Stone City trembled. A dazzling golden light burst out from within the vast palace. It was as if a dazzling golden rainbow had rushed out and traversed the void. It flowed with golden brilliance and was dazzling as it illuminated the entire Stone City. Buzz! There was a heavenly sound that resonated with heaven and earth. It was as if it had fallen into everyone's ears, causing their hearts to surge. In this short moment, everyone in the Stone City was dumbfounded. They saw with their own eyes that the entire palace seemed to have come to life. Strands of golden light swept out like rainbows, filling the void and enveloping the entire palace. Above the void, golden light overflowed in all directions. Roar! In the center of the palace, a nimble longsword swept out and let out a dragon's roar. In an instant, it turned into a 1,000-foot-long golden dragon phantom. An earth-shattering dragon's roar also resounded between heaven and earth. Roar! The golden dragon soared into the sky like a real dragon, surrounding Du Xiaofu in the center. It raised its head and roared, shaking the clouds. The golden light was boundless, distorting the void. It contained a mysterious power. Endless luck merged with heaven and earth, as if it could resonate with heaven and earth, forming an extremely powerful and majestic force. Under such a terrifying aura, it was as if heaven's luck was toppling mountains and overturning seas. The living beings in all directions trembled. Countless people's faces turned pale, and their bodies trembled. However, the citizens of the Stone City were protected, blocking a lot of the monstrous demonic chi brought by the 9 demon emperor. Imperial power bestowed by heaven, surrounded by a golden dragon. This is the supreme human emperor. Dugu Fenshin, who had retreated into the palace, could not help but exclaim when he saw the strange scene. This was not the power that an ordinary human emperor should have. This was the supreme human emperor. Looking at the power at this moment, the 9 demon emperor, who was above the void, silently focused, and the expression on his face changed a lot. Boom! Above the palace, Du Xiaofu moved. He stepped out and stepped on the golden dragon phantom. The golden dragon phantom was formed by the new life seal, Tyrant Shadow, and it was connected to his body. Instantly, the entire sky was filled with dazzling golden light. Du Xiaofu stood on top of the golden dragon, unmoving like a boulder. Du Xiaofu's figure was tall and straight. The azure armor on his body and the golden wings on his back made him look even more like a real Peng. Waves of vast energy waves spread out from him, connecting with the heavens and earth and trembling with the heavens and earth. Aoo. The imperial palace's dragon chi soared into the sky and turned into golden dragon shadows that circled around the surroundings. They covered the sky of the stone city and roared continuously. The imperial palace's draconic chi permeated the heavens and the earth. This was the momentum of the heavens and the earth, causing Du Xiaoyao, Little Xingxing, Mo Tianxiao, and the others to be secretly shocked. This was a miracle. The rumbling was clearly incessant, and heaven and earth were trembling, but the entire world seemed to have fallen silent at this moment. Only the dragon's roar shook the heavens and resounded through the 9 heavens. Imperial power bestowed by the heavens, the supreme human emperor. The venerated weapon blurted out. The venerated weapon Xiahou Fenglei was most familiar with the imperial palace's draconic chi and the new seal of the barren country. He was the one who refined the new natal seal. The tyrannical shadow was originally Du Xiaofu's natal weapon. The venerated weapon refined the natal seal so that Du Xiaofu could use the natal weapon as the foundation to bear the fate of the country and the great fortune of the heavens and earth. If he was not careful, he would not be able to bear it and would be reduced to ashes. But at this moment, the venerated weapon knew that his disciple had succeeded and obtained the legendary supreme benefits. He was blessed by the heavens and had become the supreme human emperor. Wind and thunder rumbled, and the roars of dragons, tigers, birds, and turtles resounded. Du Xiaofu waved his hand and the purple-gold heavenly tower appeared in his hand. Du Xiaofu stood tall and straight on top of the golden dragon in the stone city's royal palace. He looked at the 9 demon emperor in the sky and pointed the purple-gold celestial tower at him. Golden light shone brightly, and only his eyes were cold and sharp. He was extremely domineering, but he showed that he was a supreme ruler who ruled over the world and could not be provoked. He then said, "Come on." At this moment, Du Xiaofu's voice was like heavenly thunder, shaking the void. Accompanied by the imperial palace's draconic chi, the entire vast imperial palace trembled. It was as if a godly emperor from the divine world had descended to the mortal world. How shocking was this? When these words fell into the ears of millions of creatures, they were all accompanied by the majesty of the heavens. Rock Emperor is brave, protect the barren country. Rock Emperor is invincible, protect the barren country. Rock Emperor. At this moment, an old man in the stone city shouted and knelt on the ground. Rock Emperor is invincible, protect the barren country. Rock Emperor is invincible, protect the barren country. In an instant, the entire stone city's citizens knelt on the ground and shouted loudly. In the eyes of the citizens of the stone city, the Rock Emperor was a god. Now that a strong enemy had invaded, he should be suppressed and killed in the barren country. Rumble. The cries of millions of citizens came from the bottom of their hearts. A mysterious power gushed out and was channeled by the imperial palace's draconic chi and condensed in the void. This mysterious power was so dense that it could be seen with the naked eye. Traces of mysterious energy rose from the bodies of the people in the city. The more devout one was, the purer and denser the mysterious energy in one's body. It surged towards Du Xiaofu in the void. This mysterious power gathered together and continuously supported Du Xiaofu. Roar. Under this mysterious power, the golden dragon shadows circling Du Xiaofu's body became more and more resplendent. The draconic chi shook the sky and resonated with the heaven and earth. At this moment, Du Xiaofu accepted the vast power and merged with the heaven and earth. As he absorbed the mysterious power of the city, Du Xiaofu became hazy and unfathomable. His entire body was wrapped in a golden mist. He gathered the fortune of a country and condensed the dragon veins of a country. Golden dragon shadows appeared in the void one after another. Du Xiaofu was in the sky, and a miracle was in the world, vast and mighty in the sky. Rock Emperor is invincible, our Emperor is invincible. Our Emperor is invincible. Such a miracle made the citizens of the city tremble even more. They all worshipped and called out to their emperor. Shouts after shouts gathered together like heavenly thunder, accompanied by a mysterious force that shook the heavens and the earth. At this moment, Mo Tianshao, Lian Qing, Yi Piaoling, and the other supremes in the imperial palace were also shocked. This was the power of faith gathered by hundreds of millions of citizens. It was the source of the imperial palace's dragon qi. It was incomparably powerful, and even supremes like them had to retreat. The entire stone city was vast and mighty, and everyone was chanting the Rock Emperor's name. In the void, the Nine-Demon Emperor was also trembling inwardly. He couldn't stop this at all. The dense imperial palace's dragon qi was the most terrifying imperial palace's dragon qi he had ever seen in his life. The golden dragon shadows formed by the imperial palace's dragon qi filled the void, making that brat's aura hazy and unfathomable. Even the Nine-Demon Emperor was trembling inwardly. Brat, is this what you're relying on? Without the fire lightning seed, no one can save you anymore. The Nine-Demon Emperor calmed his trembling heart and looked at Du Xiaofu. His eyes were cold and ruthless. Today, he was going to deal with this brat once and for all. Come, I'll kill you just like how I killed the wind, fire, ice, thunder, and earth devil envoys. Du Xiaofu raised his sword and looked straight at the Nine-Demon Emperor. At this moment, the imperial palace's dragon qi was gathered, and the country's dragon veins were supporting it. Chapter 2241. The lives of the 5 demon envoys will be repaid with your life. At the mention of the 5 demon envoys, the cold light in the 9-demon emperor's eyes intensified. He suppressed the trembling in his heart and released his demonic aura as he swung his claws down. Qila, black runes appeared as the claws tore through the void, creating 5 pitch-black cracks in the void. Accompanied by the cries of ghosts, strands of demonic aura pounced out like evil spirits. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws, tearing open pitch-black cracks in the void. They spread across the sky and directly grabbed at Du Xiaofu. Such a scene caused the hearts of all living beings to palpitate in fear. Boom! Du Xiaofu moved. The giant golden dragon beneath his feet roared. His entire body was accompanied by the imperial palace's dragon aura. Numerous golden dragon shadows circled around his body. It was extremely shocking. At this moment, Du Xiaofu's every move contained the power of heaven and earth. It carried the might of heaven and earth. It was supreme and invincible. A powerful oppressive aura surged. It was more than 10 million pounds heavy and could push in all directions. Du Xiaofu swung his sword and slashed out with the purple-gold heavenly tower. This sword was not fancy at all. It contained the dominating sword Dao. The sword radiance was like millions of purple-gold thunderbolts descending, accompanied by an incomparably domineering and peerless destruction. Such a peerless sword was accompanied by the shadow of a golden dragon. Boom! This sword was peerless and violent, shaking the mountains and rivers. The entire stone city and the entire desolate country suddenly trembled. Within the 8,000 miles long river in the central region, the waves surged and the mountains and rivers trembled. Qi, the sword radiance filled the sky. Wherever it passed, the space collapsed. Heaven and earth were in chaos. The endless imperial palace's dragon aura soared. The heavenly might was awe-inspiring, the universe trembled, and heaven and earth rumbled. Such a sword might shocked everyone. Du Xiaoyao, little Xingxing, Du Xiaojing, the old monster of Green Fox, and Du Tingxian were all dumbfounded at this moment. In the imperial palace, with the help of the imperial palace's dragon aura, the country's dragon vein, and the country's destiny, Du Xiaofu could actually be so terrifying. The imperial palace's dragon aura was indeed the most mysterious and unfathomable thing. Rumble. The sword radiance and the claw print collided with each other in the void like lightning. Endless demonic qi and radiance burst out and swept across the sky. Everything was being erased, the void collapsing, extending into the distance. Then it instantly recovered. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Du Xiaofu's sword blocked the 9-demon emperor's attack. Du Xiaofu stepped on the giant dragon with the golden dragons circling around him. The golden wings of the great Peng behind his back shone with boundless golden light. He was still incomparably domineering, His momentum was heavenly, and he looked disdainfully at everyone. The Nine-Demon Emperor was obviously startled and shocked. This kid was only at the initial stage of the Sage Realm. But he had managed to block his attack. The Imperial Palace's dragon aura actually possessed such power. The Nine-Demon Emperor's heart trembled. This was too inconceivable. This brat was really strange. Without any delay, the Nine-Demon Emperor's gaze turned gloomy to the extreme. Demonic chi gathered in the surroundings like a huge black star. It was as if the heavenly dog had devoured the sun. A huge black star emitted a terrifying black light. Black lightning fluctuated and hung in the sky. Awu! At this moment, a demon roared in the sky. It was like a thunderous roar. It shook the mountains and rivers for no reason. It was as if the sky was going to shatter. The entire stone city trembled as if an earthquake was happening. The mournful cries of ghosts and the howls of gods could be heard. It made people's hair stand on end. Let's see how many moves you can block. The Nine-Demon Emperor's figure disappeared into the huge black star. Then he pushed the huge black star down. Countless demonic shadows appeared in the void. They were wailing mournfully. Baleful aura soared into the sky. Demonic chi surged. Just the baleful chi alone was enough to make the billions of living beings in the stone city tremble. If it wasn't for the Imperial Palace's dragon aura protecting them, it would be enough to suppress all the living beings in the stone city. Feeling the might of the Nine-Demon Emperor, which was obviously more powerful and terrifying than the previous attack, Du Tingxian, Little Xingxing, and the others narrowed their eyes. Nine-Demon Emperor, this is not a place for you to act presumptuously. Suddenly, such an aged voice resounded. Resplendent green light suddenly rose from the void like a green sun. A hazy figure quietly appeared. It was like a giant overlooking the mountains and rivers. It was wrapped in divine light. Chila, countless pairs of eyes watched as the hazy figure appeared. A vast aura instantly spread out, and green light filled the sky. The figure stretched out his hand, and a dazzling and translucent pillar of light, which looked like a divine chain of green light, shot out in an instant. The beam of light pierced through the void like a bolt of green lightning. The brilliance of vitality rippled like divine splendor. It directly swept into the terrifying black star. Old tree, I'm not done with you. Within the black star, the Nine-Demon Emperor's roar shook the sky. Billowing demonic chi soared into the sky. Bang, bang, bang. But then, the black star cracked, and the demonic chi in the sky exploded. The sound was like thunder. The green light and the demonic chi rolled back at the same time, sweeping across the sky. Many pitch-black spatial cracks hung in the void, making people tremble in fear. The Nine-Demon Emperor's figure appeared. He looked forward with an extremely unsightly expression. Above the void, within the resplendent green light, a middle-aged man with long green hair appeared. He stood with his hands behind his back. His long robe fluttered slightly, and his eyes were deep and vast. When he saw this person, Du Xiaofu immediately revealed a smile. Since the heavenly wood divine tree had come, he was no longer afraid of the Nine-Demon Emperor. Old tree, you won't be able to escape this calamity. The Nine-Demon Emperor glared at the heavenly wood divine tree. Back then, he had been suppressed under the heavenly Yu mountain for so long. Now that it had interfered, this was a new enmity on top of old hatred. Do you think you can do anything to me? You ran out. When East Immortal, South Ru, West Demon, and the others arrive, you won't be able to escape this calamity. The heavenly wood divine tree said indifferently to the Nine-Demon Emperor. Hearing this, the Nine-Demon Emperor's eyes darkened. He was clearly somewhat afraid. He looked at the heavenly wood divine tree and Du Xiaofu, who was supported by the Imperial Palace's dragon chi, and the corners of his eyes fiercely twitched. Old tree kid, you don't have much time. You won't be able to jump around for much longer. The next time we meet, it will be the time of your death. The Nine-Demon Emperor said maliciously. His anger surged, but he knew that there was nothing he could do. It was already difficult for him to deal with the heavenly wood divine tree alone, not to mention that the kid was now supported by the Imperial Palace's dragon chi. He had become incomparably mysterious and difficult to deal with. Although the nine-demon emperor was unwilling, he could only leave first. If East Immortal, South Ru, West Demon, and the others came, he would really be afraid. Chi! As soon as he finished speaking, the nine-demon emperor tore through the void and left. The monstrous demon Chi slowly dissipated, and sunlight gradually poured into the dusky stone city. Phew! Inside the imperial palace, Du Tingxian, Du Jixiong, and the others secretly sighed in relief. Du Tingxian, Han Aodong, Old Monster Green Fox, and Du Xiaoyao also quietly relaxed their frowns. Greetings, Senior. The imperial palace's Dragon Chi, Tyrant Shadow, Great Pern Golden Wings, Azure Spirit Armor, and Purple Gold Heavenly Tower all withdrew. Du Xiaofu bowed to the Heavenly Wood Divine Tree. Greetings, Senior. Du Tingxian, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaojing, and the others also stepped forward and bowed. Old Monster Green Fox also kept his head lowered. He was extremely respectful to the Heavenly Wood Divine Tree. No need to be so polite. The Heavenly Wood Divine Tree waved its hand at everyone as it looked at Du Xiaofu. We don't need this little bit of time. When the time comes, it will be the time of their deaths, the great demon emperor said in a deep voice. His voice reverberated in the empty hall. Stone City, deep within the imperial palace. The grave where Du Xiaofu had been buried was now glowing with dazzling multicolored light and fluctuating energy. The immortal grass and dark seeker grass were growing luxuriantly, covering the high walls and nourishing the entire stone city. Inside the nether seeker grass, Kuang Zun, 9 Lives Venerable, and Venerable Qian Xing sat cross-legged. Their bodies were wrapped in the nether seeker grass, and waves of invisible energy rippled around them. Walala, strands of black demonic chi flowed out from their bodies and gradually dissipated around the nether seeker grass. The nether seeker grass could cleanse the spirit altar and suppress all evil. It was a treasure among treasures. Its value to cultivators was immeasurable. Du Xiaofu had placed Kuang Zun and 9 Lives Venerable here so that the nether seeker grass could suppress and cleanse the demonic chi in their bodies. The demonic chi had affected their primordial spirits. Back in the Demon King's palace, Du Xiaofu had only suppressed it, but not eradicated it. Once the demonic chi affected the primordial spirits, it was too difficult to eradicate it. Even with Du Xiaofu's current strength, he didn't dare to say that he had 100% confidence in eradicating it, let alone others. Du Xiaofu formed a hand seal, and a silver-gold arc of lightning shot out from his forehead and entered Kuang Zun's forehead. At this moment, Du Xiaofu was being very careful, not daring to be careless. The nether seeker grass alone wasn't enough to cleanse the 3 uncle masters. Spirit lightning was the bane of demonic chi, and the nether seeker grass might not be enough to completely eradicate the demonic chi in his 3 uncle masters' primordial spirits. It would take a long time, but with the various types of spirit lightning in his body, he should be able to achieve twice the result with half the effort. However, this concerned the primordial spirits, and any mistake could lead to serious consequences. Thus, Du Xiaofu carefully controlled the spirit lightning in his primordial spirit to enter Kuang Zun's primordial spirit. Inside Kuang Zun's Naiwen Palace, his primordial spirit was like a shrunken figure, covered in demonic chi. Although some of the demonic chi was being cleansed by the nether seeker grass, the speed was too slow. It was still unknown if it could be eradicated completely. As Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit entered, Kuang Zun's eyes turned red, and he became even more ferocious as he pounced on Du Xiaofu. Boom! Du Xiaofu was already prepared, and the spirit lightning in his primordial spirit turned into a cage, trapping Kuang Zun's primordial spirit in all directions. It seemed simple, but it was actually very difficult. If the force was too strong, it could easily injure Kuang Zun's primordial spirit. If it was light, it could affect Kuang Zun's future cultivation. Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit was strong enough, and he carefully suppressed Kuang Zun's primordial spirit. The silver-gold arc of lightning flickered, and a strand of spirit lightning wrapped around Kuang Zun's primordial spirit. In an instant, the demonic chi turned into a mist, and a strange sound could be heard. The black talisman was destroyed, and the demonic chi was destroyed. Seeing this, Du Xiaofu relaxed a little, but he didn't dare to be careless and continued. After 2 hours, Kuang Zun's primordial spirit returned to normal, and there was no more demonic chi. His primordial spirit was crystal clear, and his primordial spirit's eyes were clear again. Phew! About 4 hours later, Du Xiaofu withdrew his hand seals and exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. His face was slightly pale, but there was a smile on his face. Finally, the demonic aura in the soul of 7th Martial Uncle, Venerable Chen Xing, was also cleared. Kuang Zun, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes, and his eyes were like stars. Old 7. Kuang Zun, who had cleared the demonic chi, and Kuang Zun, who was waiting by the side, were overjoyed. "Child, it's been hard on you." Kuang Zun stood up and said. He knew what had happened in the Demon King Palace. Its disciple who has made the 3 martial uncles suffer. Du Xiaofu was slightly gratified that the devil chi in his 3 martial uncles' primordial spirits had been completely removed by the effects of the dark penetrating grass and the spirit thunder. What was even more unexpected to Du Xiaofu was that his 3 martial uncles' primordial spirits had strangely improved a lot over the years in the hands of the devil cult. They had all reached the domain realm. Du Xiaofu guessed that all of this was related to the demonic chi. When they were in the Demon King Palace, they were affected by the demonic chi, and their combined strength was even stronger. A moment later, Kuang Zun, and Kuang Zun met in the main hall. They couldn't help but be surprised and excited. After so many years, they never thought that they would meet again. "Fourth brother, you've taken in a good disciple. The 7-star hall will prosper as long as the fire is not extinguished." Kuang Zun was happy. Everyone was finally reunited. Over the years, the 7-star hall had risen again. Dong Li Diao, Lin Weiqi, and the others of the younger generation had also made amazing progress. All of this was inseparable from the support of the desolate country. If third brother was still here, he would be very happy to see this, Kuang Zun said. Hearing this, everyone fell into sadness. How tragic was it when Kuang Zun self-detonated? Master, martial uncles, the divine light court no longer exists.